+1. Woo! +1. Woo! +1. Woo! +1. Woo! +1. Woo!
Everything's set. I think we're ready to rock. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, and night. I hope this finds you well. We have another podcast today for you. Right now we just started, waiting for people to join up, so yeah, just stay tuned. I'm gonna wait. I have a cold one. Hold on, not like a beer, but just like a soda. Yeah, there we go. I got my soda. Hold on, can I not make a mess? Hold on, this is for you, Chad. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That felt good, didn't it? Alright. Alright, just got a request from Corvo. Nice thing you announced the podcast before we knew it happened. Glad we knew it will happen. I mean, I told you guys in all my streams. Yep. And we're pretty much doing them weekly. So that's all I gotta say. You should just now expect things to happen. Alright? You didn't say shit? Bro, I said it literally in every... Whatever, man. Go fuck yourself. Well, you're here now. Doesn't matter. Welcome. It doesn't matter if you're late, early.
+1.
What matters is you're here now. Hey, Bio Mike, thanks so much for the 22 months. Appreciate it. You said every 2 weeks, so yeah, we up to schedule. I did say that, and then never mind. I can't expect you to watch everything or every waking moment of every stream or catch every sentence that I've ever said. So I understand. But the angst, come on guys, let's curb it. Let's have a good night tonight. I want to have a good night. We don't need to start off with saying all the bad things that I do or all the things I do or don't do. It's time for a podcast, not a chip shaming section, okay? All right, you guys got this. I believe in you. You can be adults. We can do this. All right, we got our guests coming here now. Hey! Happy festivities. Yeah, you're cute. Very, very snowy, sunshiny, and fluffy hat with ears. Yeah, that's what you wanted. Yeah. Though it looks like you had like a onesie, but then you like ripped off the onesie and said that's my new hood. It's like you want to be comfortable and fuzzy, but like naked at the same time. You know, mutes need to make up their mind. Maybe. But yeah, you can't hear Chi-Chi? Yeah, me either. It's for the best sometimes. No. It was a joke. It was a joke. It was jokes. See, right now we would be hearing you fuck best. It's best, you know? It's best. Tell him why. She's being punished, Chad. No talking from you. No, what's Nah, you just can't talk late at night. Right now, that's all. The end. That's simple. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So temporarily.
Got someone.
Oh, you got someone? What do you mean?
Got someone. A friend.
A friend? Well, bring him in. Please.
You get sit across from.
He's not gonna try to like eat me or something, right?
No, not today.
Why would he eat you? He's vegetarian.
Yeah. What is it? Vacation, so they say.
You're the stealer of the orange juice.
The stealer of the orange juice. The agitator of the local residents in the dormitories. How are you, Jamie? Or I guess we should call you
juice?
Imagine. Stealing people's orange juice? Me?
Yeah, why are you stealing orange juice?
I mean, to be fair, if there was something you were going to steal, it would be within the better things to do.
True. I mean, I think I get killed for anything more at this point in our excursion, Ascension Academy. I mean, speaking of which, I mean, you've had your fair share of near-death experiences at this point. Which one was the most recent?
A near-death experience for Jamie, or?
I mean, the students vying to kick your ass, I guess.
Oh, I mean, the only one who's actually done it was Zachary.
I mean, I've heard that people want to hurt you, though. And if Chipz has heard that they want to hurt you,
people. I mean, I'm sure. Like, there's been a whole lot of people who have just been like, you know, making comments
When the time comes.
mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Dita's been on your side, though.
I mean, I think Lenneth is probably like one of the biggest anti-Jamie people, but he's also got his own, let's just say, agenda behind things.
I mean, he just
people out here just judging Jamie and just not paying any attention to one of the actual big problems. So
yeah. Well, I mean, Chipz just witnessed it firsthand the other
Lenneth
day.
is so nice.
His entire thing of like, can I try the glasses? Can I try? Can I try the glasses? Can I try the? Can we try? Can we test the glasses? I was like, bro, it's like it's like a crack fiend, you know, just like.
Sure. He's like on that path of I don't know what he's trying to do. I'm gonna be completely honest. I maybe he's trying to use the darkness, but like, bro, you have to like break yourself in order to do that, and you're not gonna find yourself after you break yourself.
I mean, I think for his purposes, it's mostly like just power for the sake of power. Doesn't matter what it is.
All right.
But, you know, it's definitely gonna be one of those things where like, if you fly too close to the sun, you will get burned.
Yeah. Right. Well, then what's your motive?
Well, he probably doesn't know the consequences.
What's Lenneth's motive?
No, your motive, Jamie's motive. So
motive?
if Lenneth's is for power, all right.
Jamie's motives are mostly for his own warped sense of righteousness.
Okay.
I guess that's the best way to put it.
So, at this point, Jamie's obviously been making decisions and following along with certain things. Is he come to the conclusion that it's good or bad so far, all the things that have happened? Or is it still unknown?
The thing is, so it's kind of tricky to talk about it without sort of spoilering some things that I sort of have in mind of where I want to take things or his mindset. But it's
right.
Think about it this way. It's essentially think about a person who's completely convinced that everything they're doing is right.
Mm-hmm.
And thus everyone who's against him is wrong. And like,
right.
how do you break through that sort of just absolute wall especially when it's like it was already hard enough to kind of do that when he was perceived as just this like weird kid, versus now when everyone's like, oh, he's going to kill me, you know, in that sort of deal. It's like you just added another layer of bricks to break through. So it's like, why would he listen to anyone at the academy at this point, when he's sort of convinced that everyone's just against him and they just don't understand? And you know, it's that entire. It's when you rile yourself up so much that you are just incapable of even wanting to listen to the opposite side. And as for the things that have happened from sources, I mean, what's the best way? Essentially, it's starting to get into the point of like, does it even matter if like the world continues, right? It's like that's the direction that it's trending at the moment.
I mean, fair.
Well, he should launch himself at the enemies with that hard head of his then.
I mean, at this point, like, it might happen.
I don't know. A lot of things been proving not to work. You know, a bunch of people, you know, being dumbasses. I mean,
might as well try headbutting.
I mean, fuck, you know, like, I don't know. Everyone tries to find their way and figure out what works, and I guess you were trying yours, you know.
Yeah, as misguided as it may be, but I mean that's always kind of the approach that I wanted to take with, you know, Jamie is just trying hard mode, I guess, in some ways. You know, I think ever since the beginning, people could kind of see something like this coming. So it's not like it really caught that many people by surprise that we sort of went down this road. But at the same time, it is a little like, oh shit, it actually happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, so far, Jamie, comparatively speaking, hasn't really done anything. I'm going to be honest. Jamie, comparatively, yes, you did something horrible. But there have been a lot of people who have done just as bad, if not worse, and didn't get near the amount of shit.
It's like the annual adage, right? Like it's only a crime if you get caught. Like,
yes, that's how you got fucked up, bro. That's how you got fucked up, because there's many people who've murdered in cold blood, just in the back alley somewhere. Some random person who no one knew about, just never will be found out.
I mean, what?
I mean, we look at a lot of people, not just Shizu. I mean, oof. The other issue.
But yeah.
Yeah, true. They're bringing up your social ranking isn't that high, which ultimately determines the amount of shit you'll get.
I mean, I guess in some ways, yeah, but like I don't think anyone had it out for Jamie, right? Like it's not like he didn't particularly have like a ton of friends, and he wasn't.
You
like,
were on the outside.
He generally got along with most people, right? Like,
would you have said you were more of an outsider, but not? You weren't really like in like. So everyone has their cliques, right? In AA.
Sure.
Did you have a clique?
Yeah. I mean, eventually, sorta. Well, before we took the break between between season 3 and 3.5, or whatever you want to call that. I feel like we kind of were there because there was always a the rock that's like right by the bridge that's outside of Vanguard Dorm. Like people just hung out there, and so there was Ida and Arbor and Nerali and Zev was kind of there, and that entire group like kind of in some way adopted Jamie, but in some ways also more like almost like a mascot or a pet rather than a friend.
But what happened? Did you get abandoned?
It's a good question. I think some people, once 3.5 started up, like that group just didn't really exist anymore. I think
Patch 3.5 killed everybody. Damn.
It got into a little bit of a tiff with Arbor 1, so that kind of fractured that relationship a bit. And I know, some of it was just some people weren't able to come as much due to like health reasons, and so. But he still had like the core group inside of Vanguard more or less. So it wasn't like he was ever. It wasn't like the early days after he just got placed in the Vanguard and there was fucking nobody. it was just like a few core people, and then everyone else I think was just kind of like, either like, okay, he's a little weird kid, anywhere from to, oh, he's just he's just there. He's just kind of another
Right.
person who exists in this place.
Yeah, so you went from just existing and being like no one really cares to then now it's tanked.
Pretty much. That's essentially how it went. Yes.
Ah,
I think it was mostly neutral across across most of the
Yep.
cadets.
yep. That's why they say
Well-
always fly under the radar.
And this all is actually because it all feeds into Jamie's loathing loop as well, because he's basically, from his backstory, it's like, I have always noticed that there are a lot of people who, when they find somebody who is maybe a little challenged in some ways, maybe a little bit on the spectrum in some ways, a lot of people like to befriend those people for a little while. And it's a lot of, oftentimes a lot of people do this to kind of be like showing like, hey, look at me, I'm friends with the the little different guy,
Oh
or the little different
my
kid.
god, okay.
And like you see this happen, and so that's what I came in with Jamie as, is like, in his past, that's all he's ever had as friends. Is like somebody's like, hey, you're gonna be my great friend, and come along, we're gonna go on adventures, and then like 2 months later, when he's become too much of a problem, he
Right.
basically like gets abandoned, right? And
Kick the
so
curb. Yeah, too much.
in Jamie's mind, it's just like, oh, I made friends, cool. When are they gonna disappear? And now they have.
Right.
So
Man,
it's all going into this negative feedback loop.
you know what? You have a lot in common with Chipz, only he's coming to slightly different conclusions.
What are Chip's conclusions? I'm curious.
People are naturally going to be assholes. Always will. They're always going to be looking out for themselves, and that is true. Thus, I need to look out for myself. But that doesn't mean I have to be as self-centered as they are.
Fair.
Which
like
is
it.
where his other problem of probably giving a little too much comes into play sometimes.
I mean, Chip's is also a little bit more, socially put together, which makes it a little
I'll take that.
people.
I'll take that. I mean, some would argue, but I'll take it.
I think
Like,
I
it
think
doesn't
a rung or two above Jamie at least.
Chip can go into a group and not be like, the awkward one, right? Like he can be like the life of the
Right.
party in some
Right.
ways. Jamie cannot. Jamie does not understand anything that's being said. So yeah, it
Right,
made
right.
for a little bit of difficult times, because it was just like, okay, cool, I have to stand here and all these jokes are being thrown about, and I could snap off a zinger right now, but Jamie couldn't, so here we are. But it also, it may also made it very enjoyable when I could just like throw out something and have it, come out of like a innocent sort of way, but like also be just very off the wall, and it just made it even more funny because it came from Jamie's mouth. So it was fun to mess around with in that sense.
All right. So now that you've dealt with the darkness, would you say that the way that the students have their current mindset, are they probably going to be more susceptible than, say, even you were?
It's kind of a weird conundrum, because one, we have lost some folks recently, whether due to death or for leaving for family reasons or one or the other. So like, it's gonna be a whole new batch of people, and I don't know how, potentially I don't know how that'll like if that means they're more easily influenced or less easily influenced. I also think that while I know that a lot of this goes on in like, you know, a magical sort of sense where like you can't really resist it, I think people on campus are like hyper fucking aware of, you know, if anything weird is going on, there's a good chance that it's due to that. So does that mean that you're kind of more resistant to it? Potentially. I mean, the way I would like to think that Jamie's very much of a read fairy tales type of person. And so anytime you read a fairy tale, anytime you read a story where the devil makes you an offer, it never ends well for the good guy, right?
Right.
So in that sense, Jamie's like, when he did talk to the darkness, it was very much in the sense of like, oh, okay, well, I mean, what are we doing here? Like, right, all you're gonna do is want to use me and blah blah blah. So there definitely are ways to get. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely ways to get into his brain, but I just think that anyone left on campus right now, who's especially you know, pre-GMA folks joining, I think there's just going to be a lot of people who are going to just be naturally resistant to it, even if they don't have any like quote-unquote darkness resistance, just because they understand what they're dealing with.
Maybe. As a DM, I could tell you it is kind of hard. Because like the darkness is supposed to be like something that is okay. We all carry dark and light, and we have free will, and we choose to act on impulses and or feelings, right? And those impulses and actions, maybe necessarily by themselves, aren't necessarily inherently bad, but our choices accumulate to a whole total of which our overall actions can be, you know, we can kind of peg it whether it was good or bad. And the way it would be nice to work is more exposure to things. The more bad choices you make, the more you are opening yourself up to making more of those decisions. Like, for example, killing someone, right? That's huge, right? Like in our world, or what I was at least trying today is like, you're taking a life. That's like a big moment, and like even some casters take advantage of that moment or that burst of energy or that death, right? And like that's why it's like it's something big, it's something bad, tainted, and magical, and especially if it was murder, because there's so many negative emotions and like negative everything around it, right? Like that's why it can be harnessed. So like just being able to do that, like I'm gonna be honest, the weird mindset that they can go off and slaughter a human being and then the next day, like, or just the same day, eat fucking meat that's bleeding out like a bloody steak, that's not realistic. Not at all. Most people will have an adverse reaction to it unless they have been a veteran of it for a long time. We have been killing monsters, not humans. And we just slaughtered a bunch of humans, and I just watched all my students kill people. I mean, Chipz killed a couple too, because he had to, because in the moment, like, you were stuck in we had to stop them. And we couldn't take some prisoners. But when we tried to take prisoners, some people just said, nah, fuck this, I'm slaughtering them all. They're down on the ground. Nope, slit their throats. Stab, stab, stab. At that point...
I mean, what?
Yes. Yeah. Right. And so, at that point, when you cross that threshold, like, you broken a part of yourself. At that moment, you are no longer the same. Like especially in reality, right? Like in the real world, okay, if you decide, like, you can't come back from that decision. When you decide to pull the trigger and that trigger has taken a life, you will forever be changed. Like, you can't take that back. That is set in stone, and you're going to have to live with that moment and that choice for the rest of your life. And with that moment and choice comes that crack, those little dark voices in the background. Did I do right? Did I do wrong? Was there an opportunity to do better? Did I fuck up? No, maybe I was justified. Yeah, I was justified. Though, like which thought is the right thought? Which one is coming from the good and which one is the bad? And that internal dialogue can be driven by the darkness within and or the light in which we view the world. And that was kind of the basis of trying to get darkness to come out. But of course, in RP, the best way to do it is just put a big thing of smoke and go, "I am darkness." But do you think if it was more subtle, would it be less? Well, first of all, it'd be a little bit less engaging. But do you think it would be more manipulative in that way?
So, one of the this is gonna seem a bit tangential here for a second, so stick with me. But I did I went to school for film, and we had to write a full screenplay as one of our things that we
Oh,
had to do.
I think I know where you're going.
So one of the things, and the thing that was stressed to us was write what you know, and that's meaning that you're always going to make a better story when you start out when you write something that you know. And so a lot of people who end up making films that make grandiose sci-fi or fantasy or whatever, usually their first film is still something very realistic. A great example of this is George Lucas's first film was I forgot the name. And it was a film in 1950s based around muscle cars, right?
Okay.
His first script was something that he knew. So I think it a little bit holds true to role playing as well, because acting out something that you know is significantly easier than acting out something that you just have no fucking clue about how it would actually react, because all of this is made up. None of this is ever going to happen. None of this is real, right. And we're trying to tell a fantastical tale. So it's one of those things where it really has to. It gets into a super abstract part of yourself of trying to go over scenarios of not just how you as an individual would react, but how you as your character would react, which is adding just a whole other layer. And so you try to distill it down to kind of your own personal views and then morph it around what your character's views are, right? It's kind of that process, at least to me in my head. Mm-hmm. That's what makes sense. So when approached with something like the darkness, it's like you almost have to have your own subjective view of what it actually is.
True.
And you can kind of be told of how it's influencing you, but you still have to wrap your entire personality around that. And so I think that's why it becomes a little bit more difficult for some people to be no, I you know what? I think I'm strong enough to resist this ancient evil force, because we are in the tale of fantastic, and we want to at the very least view ourselves as sort of heroes of the tale, even if not the hero. We're one of many heroes of the tale,
right?
And so I think a lot of people want to play into it because it is an interesting thing to work around with, especially when it's the overriding the overarching story of the entire thing that you're doing.
Story,
if you can get yourself involved with that makes you feel good. You're like, oh cool, I'm doing the thing, I'm involved in the thing. But I think that's also why it gets difficult to communicate what you might think it should do to a specific person versus how another person thinks that they may be,
right.
Their character should be able to react to it.
Right.
And I don't know I don't know what the correct answer there is, right? Because
right, because
it's like you trying to write a story, but somebody's writing half of it for you.
Yeah, no, you're right. And there's some compromises. Well, a lot of compromises on all sides for the most part. Nope. Yeah, I get what you're saying, and that's why I don't really. Darkness is coming across as the way it is, because that's just really the medium in which we can express it. And I know for Chipz, how I do it is I'd usually do it as an internal dialogue, right? The feelings, the the temptations, right? It's literally the devil, right? And the devil is supposed to, and the devil, there's not a snake. There's no fucking horn guy with wings going, yeah, you should do this. No, it's yourself. It's literally you. It's your own voice telling you that I should do this for my own self-gain. And that's why we make the choices, right? Like, we, and our free will, make that dark choice. And so I think some people want to be able to believe that there is a darkness that made them do the dark thing. But that's usually not the case. No, it isn't. But, yeah, I guess the way I always viewed it was darkness was the temptation to get you to do the thing, right? Not the person who did the thing. Well, I'm sure he's done his fair share of things, but yeah, he is the one to get you to become like him. He wants you to be in their image, right? Like I want you to be just like me, and to do that, do all these things. Come on, I know you've been thinking it. I know you hate that person who's been like, you know, they dress like you do on Thursdays. They stole your outfit idea. They eat the same things. They want to be you. Fuck that bitch. Kill him. Do it. Smother him with a pillow when they're not looking. You know what I mean? Like,
Jamie, beat him up.
yeah, exactly.
I think so. You asked this a little bit, but so the one thing I can say, without spoiling too much, because I've talked about this a little bit, is that in some ways, for the darkness to correctly worm its way into Jamie, it just needs to, funnily enough, the more straightforward it is, the better time, the easier time it's going to have to get Jamie to agree to whatever the fuck it wants. Because, I think that makes it a little bit more interesting towards people who play Darkness stuff too, because it's not, every single time it doesn't have to be like, would you like power? Would you like some women? Would you like some money? Well, no, let's get away from those tropes a little bit and go to be like, hey, you just need somebody who agrees with your point of view. Boom, here I come. Writing in, I'm gonna say exactly what you need, what you want to hear, and that's how I'm gonna worm my way into you. Right.
Well, I mean, you were given a couple, golden opportunities to do the things you were setting out to do, which the glasses, for example. I mean, that was a win, I would say, right now. I don't think there's been anything that's really signified anything other than that. Maybe, question mark? I guess that's more of a question, I guess.
We'll see long-term cause and effect on that.
Yeah, true. I have no idea. Right now, it's not on anybody's radar, so you're just fine. And the longer time frame that passes, the more in the clear you are.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes and no, but, I think... I don't think it's incorrect to say that if it is revealed that it is not the glasses anymore, Jamie will probably be the first one fucking searched, right?
Lenneth will be the first one searched. Lenneth, actually. Just because of the K incident. Literally went to the headmaster and says he wants to take him.
Yeah, true.
And watched where he put him and locked him up. K, yeah. I mean, I can give you the sleds, but K's thinking he is going to steal him, by the way.
It's very fair.
Yeah.
They're just senior glasses. Why does everyone want them?
Because he told me to take him. And then I did. Because fuck the man.
I'm going to be honest. The breadcrumbs would have led straight to you if Lenneth hadn't been so fucking sussy. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Seriously, he somehow saved your ass, and that's like a stroke of RNG, dude.
That's hilarious.
I mean, obviously we still gotta be a little bit careful with it because we are wearing glasses, right? And that's why I kind of like putting them on, taking them off every now and then just to kind of mix it up. It's actually
right.
And part of me is like, do I just go and bury it somewhere for a bit? But right now I got a bunch of guards following me around anyways, so I can't do anything else right now. So it's
and they proved to be useful. I mean, wasn't the big thing you wanted to help people even in your own perverted way, right? That's what everyone wants, right?
No, in Jamie's mind, everything he's doing is right and correct, and everyone's just too much of a pussy to see.
Obviously.
I
Obviously.
don't mean any offense by saying pussy.
I mean,
The cat.
to be fair, you've been a pretty good student since you came back, not gonna lie, right? Like everyone can pretty much say good behavior has pretty much been there. Everyone else has kind of been a dick.
A little bit erratic. It's a little bit. It's been a bit erratic. Let's not kid ourselves. But
A little bit.
But yeah, I mean, it's
Crazy
one of those things where
laughter.
like James not. That's the funny part is like James. He's not gonna just go and kill someone at random, right? Like it was never about that. Like the one person that he did kill, there was a very good fucking reason in his mind to do it. It wasn't like a random, just like I feel like a murder today, and you know,
Right.
I have a person. It was just no, I there's a thing that happened. I have a way to make a solution for it, and it's gonna be done. So
They're obviously
it's kind of like it's funny to actually hear a lot of those like fears from people like, oh, I don't want to be in the same dorm as him. Just like, tell me you don't know Jamie without telling me you don't know Jamie. You know, like that sort of level of stuff.
they are giving you some credit because I don't think anybody's like scared to sleep around you or anything like that. Obviously, and they're okay with
Bio
pissing you
literally
off.
didn't want Augusta sleeping in Vanguard dorm because of Jamie being.
Augusta,
that was
protecting
actually said.
Augusta. Bro, no one else has cared. Like, if they actually cared, they would have actually been scared about the conversation you and Maggie had. Because then they would have been worried about emotional vendetta. Let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. What's more powerful and more gonna drive you to kill somebody than someone's, you know, toying with your fucking heart, bro? But no one cared.
To be
No
fair,
one
that was
thought
more
he was gonna do anything.
That was more of the elf involved that would have had some problems if he randomly showed up again. But you know, yes.
I know,
You're
but
not
like,
wrong. You're not wrong.
but so they were just told he killed someone in cold blood. You know, he's a murderer. But they're okay with having that conversation. That goes to show you that people still trust Jamie enough so that he's not gonna go ape shit on them at least, or at least most
He's
people.
also magically cuffed and isn't really beefy lad. But no, you're not wrong.
I guess.
Is a very common way of.
Whoa! I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I didn't think about Jamie in the middle of the night with his cuffs on with pillows.
But I mean, to be fair, it's like Jamie's not a person who acts on passion, right? Like
Right.
it's a lot of logic, twisted logic perhaps, but it is, you know, it is a lot of logic in that sense.
No, okay. I mean, you convinced yourself to kill a vampire that you thought was stalking you. I mean, I would just assume that, you know, someone who slighted you and maybe might slight again.
Well, to be clear, Jamie killed that vampire specifically because that vampire told Jamie that she was involved with helping Lenora, and Jamie very much does not like Lenora because of the shit she did to Rana during that fall.
What's wrong with Lenora?
Dude, you're gonna have a problem just like the world had with Jinx, bro. Everyone thinks they can fix her. All right? Every single one of them is like, there's hope! I can fix it! I'll be the one!
Oh, you
No,
recently
no,
watched that, didn't ya?
Guys, people don't actually realize the sequence of events that had to happen for that murder to actually take place. It's like that entire episode, it was like the universe was telling me to fucking do it.
Yeah.
From the start, everything just played out to like one thing to another, to Barian basically doing the search your feelings, you know it to be true type of like speech. Yeah, it was
The only reason why what you
the-
did was
the lengths that it
bad
went to, yeah.
in everybody's eyes is because they viewed it as an unarmed girl that you killed. That's what they saw.
Yeah,
That's
because
what
all
they
anyone
saw.
saw was the fucking like, oh, tee-hee, she's in love, vampire. Oh, look at the...
Right.
Like, y'all, she was like Lenora's assistant and was also literally sent to spy on Ascension.
Right.
She's done bad shit. She would have probably continued to do bad shit.
Yeah.
But no, all everyone saw was just this like, oh, look at, oh, just a little love-struck little beam. I'm just like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah, which is why I guess in my eyes your
Public perception,
murder
public
wasn't technically as bad as a lot of other people's murders. But it was still pretty bad as far as that it was pretty cold-blooded. Like, let's be honest, that was premeditated cold-blooded murder. Yeah, like that was
100%.
Woo!
Like there
Holy
is no actual
fuck, man.
excuse for it, but there is a line of reasoning for it.
Yeah, you straight up had like fucking words written out in magic as those were streaking across, hitting her head, dude. Like, V for Vendetta,
Did
bitch.
she get vaporized or?
Yeah, but the plan TM. It just says plan. The plan.
The episode before, when we were actually like down and like you know, clearing, like, you know, fighting everything, we had searched a random crate, and I don't know if Conf did this on purpose or not, but
Oh no.
Conf tells me that Jamie finds 3 silver coins.
Oh.
So
Con.
like all of the like without that, none of this would have happened, because Jamie would have been like, it's a vampire. I probably can't kill a vampire without silver.
Whereas
Oh
Conf,
well, not
what
gonna
you're
do it.
doing?
And here's Conf like just being like, hey, you want a thing? You want this?
His Conf is the darkness.
Here you go. Yeah, so it's like, I mean, that's where the entire thing started, and that's how, like, that's what I'm saying. It's the sequence of events that led to that all being done was
The darkness put those coins there.
Like, you can't fucking write it. Like, that's how ridiculous it is.
And it all just kind of worked out in not your favor.
Who was
Yep,
it that
nope.
played that person anyway that got fucking vaporized?
Lieutenant Dan.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what's done is done. You know, the plan went off, and
I should have got them
moved
to
forward.
come. To be
Don't worry. Don't worry. They've been you know, mentally around with
That is very funny.
in views and all that.
yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah,
they-
no, I mean, look, yeah, obvious, and once again, this obviously is not the right action to take, not okay at all. But the circumstances of it, and that's the funny thing is, like, the magistrate learned all of this, and that's why I think in the end, Jamie was let off with a lot lighter of a sentence than people thought. But instead of anyone being like, well, okay, wait, hold on, what's the actual story then? Everyone went, racism. Like,
yeah, that was a
human
little.
favoritism and that damn racist Jamie with the vampires. And that's why every time I'm just like, oh my fucking god.
Well, to be fair, everyone on campus hates vampires. Let's be honest. You wouldn't be the minority.
I don't know. There's a certain fish who is very much into a vampire.
Okay, one person on campus? I mean, that's it?
There's a cat that, like, absolutely adores them.
Okay, the student body will tell you,
Vampires.
we hate vampires. Okay, not you two, but all the other vampires are horrible. That's what they'll say. Literally, what is that? They hate
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
vampire race. That's racist, right?
I'm not gonna
You guys
lie,
are cool.
society is
Fuck everybody else.
fucked up. Like,
It is.
you
Yeah, I'm not.
fucked up society.
I'm not defending it. I'm not. It's pretty bad.
Oh, she was actually chatting up Lenore.
You made a society that tried to take over the world at some point.
I mean, yeah, but okay. I mean, that opens up a bag, and you know it. I mean, how many in real life countries have tried to take over the world? They're not evil people. They just had some interesting leaders.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah. I don't know. Just healing circle.
So yeah, I mean, look, it's Jamie does not like Vampire Society. Sure, now that he's learned of it, but like,
It's not the best.
the funny part is he doesn't actually dislike Chipz. He doesn't dislike Victor. He thinks Victor's a fucking hypocrite and deserves to be punished the same way that Jamie was punished. But it's like he doesn't actually like have any notions of killing Victor for any reason.
Yeah, I will say that's an interesting thing. So why is it that you want him to pay so bad when you know damn well we had to do what we had to do to win?
So it's not essentially it's not that he wants Victor to be punished,
Okay.
but it's rather that, hey, if I'm getting punished, why isn't he? When he literally just came out and told everyone that he came here to get revenge, and he did.
But
A murder.
the only problem with that
And-
is by proxy he was also solving the problem that the whole thing had, right?
Okay,
Like, he was
so
the
Jamie
issue,
went
right?
and solved another problem.
I mean, they didn't view it as a problem, so I guess that's why they didn't like it.
And this is where the entire thing gets a little bit murky. Now, I play into this a lot. Obviously, me as out of character,
Right.
I don't really think that.
Right.
But this is the mindset that Jamie's in that, like, there's actually no difference. Like, he just admitted there's no the reason why he came here was to do this. Was Godfrey a bad guy? Yeah, absolutely. Did he deserve what God had done to him? Absolutely. Was Victor in the right doing it? Absolutely. I was also, however, in the right to do the thing that I did, so why am I getting punished and Victor is getting literally celebrated?
It's because you didn't do it the hero way. You didn't wait till they had a sword in their hand. You have to wait till they draw on you.
Okay, but hold on.
No.
They do because it's a fucking vampire with a scar.
Racism! Just because they have teeth!
I don't know. It seems to me you took this helpless girl that was in love with you
Just
into
a-
a
just
back
a-
alley and just vaporized
Just fucking
her.
capture her in the face. Yep, that's what happened. Yep. No, I mean, and that's the kind of like.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a difference between the two, but when you really like want to argue that they're not actually that dissimilar, you can make a case where somebody goes, I mean, no, but I mean,
I don't know. I'm gonna be
like,
honest. That's kind of like
that's all I'm trying to get to with.
That's like that meme of like, do you have any weapons on you, sir? My fists are certified weapons, officer. Like,
Look at these guns.
yeah.
Like, a vampire could just rip my head off at any point, so are they really unarmed?
I mean, yeah, I guess that's the argument, but you gotta wait until they try. Is the other argument?
No, sure, and once again, like, obviously, it's not an accurate argument to make.
Right.
But it's an argument that Jamie will make to explain what he thinks. And
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are some people
the
that
funny part to him,
thrive, like
the funny
first
part
steps.
is that sorry to cut you, but Victor actually, when Jamie and Victor spoke briefly, and Jamie sort of realizes that Victor actually wants to be punished for what he did.
Because he's a masochist.
I mean, whether or not he gets off on it is a whole different question. But
I mean, he loves that shit.
but I mean, you know, the way that he literally talked to him was like, yeah, maybe I should be. I don't remember the exact words, but basically it was like, maybe I should be punished. Like, I don't know why I haven't been punished.
You want to know
And-
why?
and
Because
so
he
that's-
never gets punished. Chipz gets punished, but that motherfucker had me stabbed how many times? And he never got punished.
I know, right?
Victor
It's
does
always the
nothing
one stirring
wrong.
The shit. The
We
golden
love
child.
Victor.
Maybe
you
that's
know,
why
if
he's
you
starting to
change your
feel
hair
what is it?
You got a little blonde in there. Maybe you be the golden child too.
God damn.
That's a little wild to say.
God damn.
Yeah, a big blonde and golden.
Yeah, no, I know what you meant. I know.
Like lemons, like the we need Victor on the right?
All right, so what was Jamie's stance? I have to ask. It's got to come up in every podcast until I hit everyone. Jamie's stance on the plan.
Variance plan?
The plan.
So, Jamie didn't really have a stance. He, in fact, didn't fucking understand half of what's being said. Didn't really care. He just wanted to just go and do anything. But more to the point is, at that point, Vanguard. It's funny because Vanguard was really like at that point very tight knit. Like they had gone through some shit. They had really come together, and Jamie had bought in completely into whatever Zach wanted. So if Zach said, "Yep, we're gonna do the plan," then we were gonna do the plan. If Zach said, "Nope, the plan's shit," then no, the plan's shit. Really, in hindsight, well, yes, for reasons. In hindsight, the thing about the plan that makes Jamie just be kind of like, huh, is Barian. Barian was the one who made the plan to put it out in front of everyone, which at the end of it involved murdering Garm. Barian, whose entire paladin thing is second chances and not death. And so now Jamie's back into his own thing with Barian because Barian's lecturing about like, oh, we don't kill people here, and Jamie's just like, but you made a plan to straight up murder a dude who you had captured. You're letting go on purpose, and then you were going to murder. That's your plan. So like,
wild.
How the fuck do you justify coming at me for killing a thing when that now obviously?
Well, you see, he's a bad guy. You see, he's a bad guy, so it's justified.
But that's the thing. So it's like, so Barian, are you a hypocrite or are you a racist? Do you not think that werewolves are people who are like you can give a second chance to, or is it okay when you judge that somebody needs to be killed? So that's really the plan part in Jamie's mind.
Right.
That's where it's sort of unraveled in the end. As for the actual doing of that plan, which I missed because I couldn't be here on that day and I was very sad, but Jamie just was like, he was so sick and tired because he had essentially been sitting around the inn and like maybe helping with a little odd job here and there, but like he was just like, can we please do anything? I don't even know why we're here. Can we just please do fucking anything?
Well, I mean, in Barian's defense, he wasn't the one that came up with the plan, right? Like it was, it was the students.
It as his.
And I'm gonna say this now, right? Because I was one of the leaders, right, having to deal with it. There was literally a leadership coup thing going on where the leaders didn't want other leaders to be involved, so they didn't have them part of it in the major conversation. So then there was like a small group of them that then had the teachers' ears, and then they decided what they wanted to have happen, as opposed to the other small other majority. Yeah, and Chipz was trying to bring it up to his people, and we were trying to take care of business. And I was like, I need backup in there. But then we just got waylaid with the plan. We got fucking bamboozled after we shot it down because it was approached in the leadership meeting, and there was a group of us that said, no, fuck, this is a stupid plan. Why the fuck would we do this? We literally said it, no. And then they decided, okay, fine, you're right, we won't do it. A couple days later, without us, behind closed doors, they reformed the plan and then got the teachers on their side and then did it. It's all their fault, just so you know. I don't want any fucking weirdness because eventually it's going to be too far in the future and no one's going to remember, right? Because let's be honest, we go through mini arcs. But yeah.
He's about to write a manifesto.
Nah, man. Nah, dude. It's not Barry's fault. He just got fucking he was pressured into doing this thing. He's like, okay, all right, well, let's do it. And then he changed it for us when we decided to change it. So that's my defense for Barry.
But
I
I mean,
didn't know it was that
still, like
devious. What the hell?
from the optics of everyone else who was sit there, Barian put forward a plan. Barian put forward supposedly
Yeah.
his plan that involved killing a currently imprisoned prisoner. So that's why it was that's why Jamie's definitely been harping on that
Yeah.
part. But yeah, I mean, as for the plan itself, like once again, Jamie's morals are very, in some ways, they're very rigid. But if he doesn't really understand the consequences or the political ramifications, things like that, it's just gonna go over his head, and so he's gonna look to the person who is kind of like the strongest, word in his ear at any given point, and at that point, that was Zachary.
I highly recommend if no one's had the opportunity to check out the Garm recap stuff. I should make a second one for the second part, but just seeing it all play out and all the information we had at play and the choices we actually took, not based on the information, is wild.
It's also a miracle that Garm even survived.
Dude, that man. Now he deserves
I
it.
think.
Did he get a good ending too? I wasn't there.
I think he did. I think he got the witch ending, which, as we know, is the good ending. Yeah, we know that's always the good ending.
You come out of this with a good ending.
Yeah, but because he probably saw us and thought, man, they're worse than I am. I guess I can turn another leaf.
Whoa! I thought I was the big bad. Like, holy shit! There's some crazies here.
They were gonna
Get
take.
me the fuck out.
They were taking me back in the backyard, and Old Yeller and me. Damn. Brutal.
No, look, I mean, I think the problem with the entire plan and when it came up is it was like we had been spending episode after episode in Fallbrook, and there was just like for the people who were involved in stuff, they were involved in stuff, but I think a lot of people were just kind of like waiting for a thing to happen, and then here comes the thing, and then how long was that meeting take? Like, I swear that meeting took like 2.5 hours.
It was 2
and
hours.
I think by
yeah.
the end of it, people were just like,
No.
"Get me out of here!"
Yup.
When obviously, because the thing is, there wasn't a resolution coming, right? Like the people who were dug in of like, no, we need to do this, versus the people who were like, y'all are fucking insane. That was not going to be like, yep, we're going to get this wrapped up in the next 10 minutes. And I think in some ways the biggest problem was that it was an open floor. If we're going to look at how we're supposed to operate, yeah, it should have been Barian who's saying, we're going to go do this, and that's how it's going to be. Like, that's how, like, to me, that's how we should, the school technically should operate, because we're not technically officers yet. We're still in school to learn all this stuff.
Right.
So while it's great for us as role players to be able to be involved in making some of these decisions, it really shouldn't have been up to us in the first place. It should have been all the professors. They make a decision. They tell us to go and do a thing. And if you don't like it, you can leave.
Used to be that way,
Rocks.
but because of all the recent stuff, and we have been segueing to, this was our first mission to test out, okay guys, you need to be officers, all right? This is your first testing bed, and this is how we performed basically.
And
We
how
screwed
did that turn out?
We got an F. We got an F.
We learned something this time, didn't we?
But if we don't fail, we're not gonna learn.
And somebody murdered someone.
Yeah, I mean, what we learned is maybe not be so extreme with our plans, maybe, because honestly, plans are going to become extreme whether you want them to or not, and it's better for us to prepare for those extremes than to create the extremity.
That plan was so convoluted.
Dude, all we had to do was sit there, man. We had the winning hand.
That was an own goal, to be honest.
Well, the thing is, like, a lot of people just didn't really know what was going on either. Like, you know, there's a lot
Yeah.
of people who heard
Yeah.
about things tangentially, didn't really have the full context of what's going on, or they're just playing like the type of character that literally
right.
doesn't give a fuck.
This is like, it's RP, but it's a little bit more like outside of the character. All right, so we've been trying to figure out how to pass information on. And now I've just been basically saying, please, just meta. Like, just meta. I don't care. Like, just follow along with the story so we can all just be on the same page. I don't want anybody to be caught out.
Yeah.
Like just like make sure you're telling the story you want to tell. And so we tried having a Discord, message thing where everyone could share notes, and they were sharing notes. But I think those notes were hard to read because I don't think people understood how to like connect the dots with them, right? So it was just data points with no like tree to show you what they meant. And so the struggle is how do we help you guys as players come to those conclusions, right? Like, I mean, when you watch it in order, like when you watch the playback, the video edit of like, it all makes sense, right? You're watching it as a video, right? You watch it as an anime. It goes from point A to point B. You understand how you got there. But in RP, it's span over a week, one day a week, and then we go for fucking months, and we're not going to remember 2 months ago. It's just not gonna be. That's just not gonna happen. So, what do you think as a player? Because I am curious how we can bridge that meta gap. We talked about maybe a meta channel that we just say, "Hey, here's just meta shit and a short story of what's happening right now." Do you think that would be beneficial?
I don't think it'd be bad. I think part of what happened though is that through the years there was just such this like level of secrecy everywhere on campus. Like everyone was just like everything was being kept a secret, no matter how mundane or how explosive it was. It was just like, do not ever tell anyone anything ever.
It was part of the
at
RP
any point
to not say anything.
Yeah. And so, especially with like I guess you can call them the old guard of Ascension, the people have been here since, year 1, year 2, I think that just is almost like inherently in their characters, where it's like, we have to keep all of this a secret because you never know when somebody's listening, that sort of deal. So it's moving away from that. It's like having to recondition people in some ways. It's already going to be an uphill battle from that sense. But I hate to. This is pure speculation, and I don't mind if anybody doesn't do this, but I think some people also just, in an out of set character sense, are just not going to read it, right? Like they're gonna come for RP. They're gonna do their thing.
You're right.
They're gonna play their character. They're gonna have their fun. They're gonna get involved when they're here. Anything past that, no involvement whatsoever. Like if anything gets posted in Discord, docs, whatever, they're just not gonna do it. And there's a lot of reasons not to. Some people just want to live in the moment. They don't want to know the meta thing, or it's just like we have people who are role playing 8 hours every day, and it's just like there's so much info coming from so many sources that you just kind of have to decide what you're going to filter. Do I think that such a channel would be neat for some people? Absolutely. I would read it. But I think it's also, because I vaguely remember there being some sort of notes during Fallbrook, but I was actually under the impression that was for specific eyes. Like I didn't realize that was supposed to be for everyone.
I see.
But like also now we get into I would get into the problem where like if I read a meta thing, like do I react to it in terms of me reacting to it? Like because now I have to translate it into my Jamie filter. So even if I meta-wise OOC know the thing, Jamie's not. If he were to read that paper, he would read it very differently than I would. So it there gets to still be this little like weird murky ground where disinformation can happen because characters are going to interpret things differently, and even depending on who may have written a thing on a notepad. So there's a lot of
So
weird
you're saying-
intricacies in it. I don't think what you suggested is a bad idea at all, though. But I think at that point, like, we have to make it known that, like,
Right.
listen, yes, this is open notes. Everyone can read this. Interpret it how you will. You would all
All right.
know this, though.
So it sounds like
and
we
I think that'd
have
be a good idea.
attention span issues as well as just like awareness issues. To mitigate that, and I'm not saying I'll look into it, but it could be a possibility of I really enjoyed the video, right? Recap, something like that, like once a month, like for like a 2-minute, 3-minute like recap, like last on AA kind of a thing. So people with short attention spans just get a boom. The darkness, the tree exploded, and then runes appeared in your face, and then shit happened, and the campus blew up, and then the graveyard went bam, and then the people who weren't there, literally for all those, that was like 3 or 4 episodes. They can be like, oh,
That'd be a bad nightmare.
yeah,
Chipz, we live in the TikTok era. The more distilled you can present people
We can
information.
put it in vertical format.
yeah.
Put Subway Surfers under it.
God damn it!
I know that you and I are a little bit older and we're fine reading, but you know we got some people with
You can do this.
Okay.
I
All
believe
right, we
in
need to
you.
find a little editor that'll put subway surfers at the bottom. Fuck. God damn it.
Well, if he makes the recap, I'm definitely, and he doesn't do that, I'm gonna make an edit.
Yeah.
you have to put like one of those like
Like
soundtracks
2x,
over it.
2x speed.
But yeah, you have to put like the Breaking Bad song over it or something.
I guess the only thing I would worry about like doing something like that would be like I'm not gonna know what happens in everybody's life. I'm only gonna know like storyboard stuff, like the main plot, like professors and the whatever stuff, you know.
But I think that's okay though, because like once again, the problem is that there's a lot of people who don't know what's going on in the overall story because
True.
on a day-to-day basis they might be dealing with their own bullshit. But they know their own bullshit, right? Like,
Right.
and it doesn't matter if other people know their own bullshit because the people who are involved in that bullshit know what the bullshit is. So if it's the overarching story wise, I think that's great. And you know, it's like what we do 3 days technically between episodes still, correct?
Yeah, usually.
Somewhere, you know, roughly. Like you can easily be just like, yeah, and you know, the few days between episodes, you know, this is what you've learned of everything, you know, through gossip or talk in the days. Here you go. These are the key points that have gone.
Right.
I
think we need-
was
I
thinking
think we
of
need to
putting
do
just a couple things in announcements, honestly, like new session announcements, a little bit of recap.
Yeah. Well, we barely made it to this fucking. God damn, this year was tough getting to this holiday season. Whew. We got there though. We got there.
The graveyard is desecrated now. Yay!
Yippee!
Oh man, I was sad I couldn't be there for the
Yeah.
last
Oh,
episode, but
Oh, you did miss that? Ah,
yeah, I had work stuff going on that entire weekend, so I was just like,
damn.
and it's gonna be the last episode of the year.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is
sorry.
like, at least it was something major that happened on the last. There's gonna be a little bit of a break, so if you missed it, there's gonna be like that cool down period. So everyone's gonna be cooled down, right? So it's not gonna be like I missed the major
and
thing.
and at least we got the Jamie part out of the way, so I didn't have to really worry about
Yep.
like
Yep.
needing to be there for the next narrative. Like
Yeah,
we can
true.
hinge on Jamie's availability.
Yeah. No. Luckily we got all the stuff. So now we're all set up for
worked out.
next. Yeah. Now we're headed towards the north, everybody. To the well, supposedly. I mean, I guess spoilers, but we already told you guys. So.
So what's our Garm plan for the north?
Jesus. Well, I guess we're like if we're going to the north, right? The general gave a whole speech on how he's gonna raise the fucking towers of Isidel and, you know, bathe the snow in blood. So I don't know. Maybe
Is that,
we
like,
can
metaphorically or
No, I think he's pretty much being literal. Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Man,
Maybe-
we're gonna have some wild times in Canada. I'll tell you what.
Jamie, like, all these things are happening. Hoshi Kid doesn't have a chance to talk to Jamie.
Is the general stupid? I don't know. Oh, why do you ask that question, Chad? Do you think it's a stupid move that he declared war on the entirety of the population?
Goose. Goose.
Can we have Isadel Goose Attack? What does it even mean?
God, I love Goose.
You like geese?
Were you there when
I like it when there's two
the
of
general
them.
got broken out,
Double,
Jamie?
Perhaps.
You know they're vile, vicious creatures.
Yeah, Godfrey was vile and vicious.
True. So you haven't met the general, right, Jamie?
No. Yeah.
No, okay. Do you even know that we let him escape?
I believe we were told that one of them is out. Yes, and
Okay.
I mean, we've been at the door. We just saw the vision of the door when like one of the lights was out too. So yeah, I believe that's known that one of them is out.
I actually forget. You guys probably don't know half of the stuff because we don't tell anybody anything. Like the darkness circles, the seals, the holy shit, we're bad. How are you supposed to play this RP game?
It's realistic. It's realistic.
Just like day one, it's just like, how about
True.
you guys tell? Dude, it was great. Like the first like 4 or 5 months, Jamie was in Vanguard. It was just like, you'll find out. We've been through so much shit. You'll find out. You'll find out someday. And I'm just like,
Oh yeah, because everyone
how
talks
about
so
you
much.
tell me now? But yeah, I mean that is bit of an issue.
Yeah. But then again, we've been
Like
through so much.
technically,
It's hard
we really
to.
don't know too much about anything that specifically happened in the first couple of years. There's been
Yeah.
I'm sure a few of us have found out a little bit here and there, but like specifics of like what happened on every mission, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, without giving. So there's been a lot of things that are happening that are running parallel, right, to what happened back then, and it's unfortunate that the people that were around then are either A, keeping their mouth shut, or B, just maybe forgot about it. Yeah, or they're gone, right? Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of changing. Like, you know, how many people are still left who are here in year 2, right? Like,
True. I mean, it's for the best. If they remembered what Chipz did in year 1, they'd probably blame everything that's happening now on him.
Harper.
I can't believe it pissed in that lake. Still, that's damn shame.
All right. So, if you had to peg somebody as the next death on campus, who would it be?
Death.
Mm-hmm.
Augusta.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, not a
it
bad
gonna
guy.
be
I mean, we're
you?
going to the north. I mean, we are headed to the north.
No, I mean, look, realistically speaking, we've lost a lot of healers. Morgan
Oh.
consistently fucking taps herself out. And Augusta gets herself fucked up in every single fight. She doesn't have Liang here anymore
Yeah.
to cool her down or whatever. Like, if she keeps on going at the rate that she goes, I would not be shocked that in one of these fights, Augusta just goes wild, gets fucked up, and doesn't. And there's no available healers because I think really Morgan is the only one who can currently do anything about it. And Morgan gets stretched a billion different ways every time because she's the only magical hero at this point.
Wait, and
Someone really does need to get Yoshi to heal more.
did Bile take off?
Bile took off.
Bile took off. So yeah, so now she's like lonely and ready to lash out.
Lonely, yeah. I mean, you know, maybe it gives her a little bit of like, hey, I should be more careful so I can see Bile again. But I'm just saying, from
I don't
having
know.
been in her squad and witnessing how she is after literally every single fight that we have. Now, if we're talking a little bit more in the abstract sense of like who's going to do something to get themselves killed, not just like, oh, you know, I have fallen in battle.
Okay. Yeah.
Ooh. Well, I was gonna say I can see Ellie doing something stupid, but she's in present day, so she has to live.
Yeah.
Dang
Well,
that.
she's got Victor. Literally, she'll be fine.
But no,
Yeah.
you know, it honestly might be Lenneth, just because I can see him thirsting for power so much that he's going to get himself into a position where somebody catches
wait.
him trying to
I should
take
preface, by
something.
the way, just because you're in present day doesn't mean you get a free pass.
That was
Well, I know.
mostly-
I just want to remind everybody. Just because you put your character in present day doesn't mean you don't die. Because we can do shit with multiverse. You know that? Shit's fucked in multiverse. You can fucking resurrect people from the dead and shove them down a goddamn portal and set them in a goddamn another universe. You know that. I know that. We all know that. Because metaverse is just that way.
Shattered into a million pieces.
Alright, so, yeah, we could kill you 1,000 different ways and then send your soul through a fucking portal. Alright? Alright, back. Sorry.
Do you know how many people we have on campus who don't know how to swim?
How did we last this long?
Oh, wait.
Really, how did we last this long?
Also, you know who I could see dying just due to who she is? Iris. Where are we going? The cold, cold north. What is Iris? A snake lady. What happens when snakes get into cold? They die.
Just debuff.
I can literally just see Iris getting hypothermia and just like if Iris falls into a lake, a frozen over lake, she's actually just dead.
I think we're all gonna have a hard time in the north, to be fair.
Very true.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
I
gonna be a
need my
tough one.
winter coat.
But no, I mean, if it's somebody who's just going to, you know, non-accidental, non-combat related, somebody's going to get themselves killed by doing something stupid, I could really see Lenneth just going one step too far. And maybe it's not death, but maybe it's like, yeah, you tried to take a thing. You're not allowed to take
transformation
that.
for
You
when
are
that
not
happens.
going anywhere anymore ever again. Like, I can sort of see something like that happening. That's the only person who, at the current moment, I can see really acting out of line. I mean, Jamie's somewhere in there too, because who knows what sort of darkness fuckery is gonna happen while we're in the north. But just inherently, like, Jamie's not gonna do anything by himself. He has to be kind of led to the well, right? So
They did bring up
there's
a point. How do you think the students are going to handle it in a zone? Because we're headed close to the zones where magic gets a little fucked because of the flipped
Oh, wait.
convergence.
Oh.
How do I think students are going to handle it?
Were you there
Correct.
for that lesson?
I mean, yeah, I was there for the ley line lesson, but I'm trying to figure out what exactly you mean by it.
Casting gets a little difficult and can be
Plus one.
unruly sometimes if you're not used to it. So yeah.
I mean, Jamie's gonna be fucked. His entire kit is just magic. There's
No. Yeah, right.
conventional weapon
right.
in there.
Well, not all places there are fucked, by the way. There's you know, you got to go to those places, but you know, knowing us, we're gonna have to step foot in them
I'm sure we'll
probably.
be told.
Yeah.
So in that sense, like, there goes all of his like defensive capabilities. So I mean, you know, at that point, it's just literally just a squishy human. I mean, I think for the most part, people at school at the moment have ways
Plus
to
one.
not use magic to
I think it
power
helps.
themselves, especially with Stark being gone. I think he was like the other really big powerhouse magic user.
Mm.
I don't.
Wait a minute.
Is it gonna fuck with writers?
No.
Transformations? Like, does that fuck with his transformations?
Oh,
know.
that one, I think though that's more natural. I believe that's a natural thing, right? Natural ability.
I would figure
Yeah.
as well. So I think the people who hit. Oh, actually, you know what? Lux might get fucked.
Oh, true. He's not gonna be able to maintain his fucking magi armor, and he abuses that.
Yeah, he's.
Wait,
yeah,
I'm
he's-
fucked.
Oh yeah, you are too. Everyone's gonna be like me. Chip's gonna be like, I am God here. Shing.
And that's like, Lux is actually a problem too, because at this point, like, Lux is one of the remaining like very heavy hitting frontliners.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that,
true.
That might really cause some problems.
I think all the natural people are gonna be fine.
One-shot hard, but
Like Rabbit Girl, vampires, werewolves. Well, I think we're gonna be
Zachary,
fine. Yeah.
I think there's going to be enough coverage to happen there, but I definitely think there's going to be some fucking around and finding out.
Yeah.
Fucked.
Yeah, I actually didn't. Yeah, now that I think about it, the cold and the wild magic is gonna make this very, very hard.
Yeah.
You better.
And-
Can you sew me a big fluffy coat?
Big fluffy coat. I mean, you have fur. I'll just use the fur that you left in the room.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how it'll go. I don't know. We'll see how it
I don't
goes.
even know how, because like even like I know Victor knows like sword fighting and all that, but is he really even that effective without his blood magic stuff?
He knows he's pretty solid in it, but I guess he does rely heavily on his other magic. I guess it's what you're used to relying on. Like, if you don't have magic and you just do sword fighting, then you're probably going to be better at sword fighting because you're not augmenting it with magic capabilities. Right.
It's definitely going to make things harder, but I think that there are enough people with enough natural ability and talent and strength that it'll be mostly mitigated.
Yeah. So then what do you think you're going to do then to offset, I guess? Well, what would be the way to offset Kit to make that work?
Jamie?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, because,
Or-
I got you.
or
How would you do it with you? I mean, you're going to have to think on something, all right?
He's gonna sit around and be miserable. And
Oh my god, that's it. He's just going to be cold and hungry. Ooh.
Truth be told, like if we go into one of those zones and he can't do his magic, he's just gonna be like, okay, well, I'm gonna stand here now.
Huh. Okay. Well, we're going to need to figure out Jamie's shtick.
I guess I'll carry the firewood or something.
God damn it.
Although he was strangely effective with a shovel when we went to go kill those little plant things.
Ah, there you go. There you go.
So maybe we do some shovel warfare.
A little
but,
shovel knight.
against
Go dark
big
tide-
bad
go dark tide
enemies
on 'em.
like it's like by shoveling I mean he's just gonna have a shovel and run at things and just jab
Yeah,
at them, right? It's
Dig
not-
that corn out of the earth.
Don't you bring corn.
I'm sorry.
I'm not going back to the corn.
Never again.
It's crazy to think that was like 2.5 years ago that thing came up. One of the all-time Jamie moments.
Pretty much. Corn is what you're known for. That and orange juice. Which
The
I
funny
don't.
part about it. There are two funny parts about that entire scene. One, so I was, in VR, bashing my head against the barrier, but because I was standing too close to it, nobody actually saw my head move because it gotten stuck. But also the funny part about that entire thing is really the reason why it got as aggressive as it did is because. So I went up there and at first I like muttered it a few times, right? And they got a little bit louder and a little bit louder. But then I heard people laughing and I was like, well, time to turn this shit up to 11 just to make people understand that I am not fucking around and there's something very bad behind what you're saying. And so that's when like I was just like screaming, I'm not going back to the corn. And yeah, that was a fun day. Dude, I pulled my like arm so bad.
What?
I have an old injury, so when I was just like fake bashing my head against it, like I
Oh.
just pulled my entire shoulder muscle and my entire arm was dead for like the next 2 hours.
Man, you gave it
Things
all
you
to
do.
that. I mean, yeah, roleplay does bring out the worst and best of us sometimes. All right,
Sometimes
so what?
you gotta make it known that you are being real and not just funny.
One second. Oh God, yeah. Excuse me. Anyways, so Jamie's best moment, if you had to pick one.
Ooh. I mean, by best, are we like most fun, most impactful?
Which is your most memorable, probably? Which one sticks out the most? Like, man, I just had a lot of fun with that.
That's a kind of a tough one. I mean,
All
I
right.
think there's been.
Who narrowed down dead to Arc?
Look, I think the corn. The corn scene was something
Okay.
that actually introduced Jamie to people. I think
True.
that was a
True.
big one. By proxy, the I'm cornbread. When everyone was dressing up for Spirit Week. Unless, dude, I still feel so bad because like people had made all these like super nice costumes. Like fucking Momo made this amazing looking costume, and there I am having like had someone rip a Sims 4 corn costume for me, and then I win because it's a fucking me, and I'm just like, no. It was a joke. Please do not vote for me. I just wanted to stand up there and say, hi, I'm cornbread. And just have it be a little bit of a joke.
A little bit, yeah.
Like, please vote for like either How or Momo or somebody else. But,
Yeah.
yeah, that was I still feel a little guilty about that one. A lot of people did not ever get to see the conclusion of the Jamie Maggie arc before the more recent one. But those who know what happened there know the line. That was a pretty big formative one. And I guess when he got recognized, at least for Jamie, when he got recognized for his deeds in the fucking island that we went to.
Fortune.
Fortune Bay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When during the dance there, people who like had done well got called up, because that was the first time like Jamie would actually get like somebody saying "good job."
Good job,
To
Jamie.
everyone else.
2 thumbs up.
I think
So
those are some of
Jamie
the
didn't
ones.
get a lot of validation, is what I'm hearing from this.
Well, I mean, in his life, absolutely not. Sure, yeah.
Or in
Like,
the academy either.
Jamie, the one thing Jamie has ever wanted was to just be a part of something. Be a part of a collective of people. That's why he came to the school.
Oh, the darkness has slots for you.
We have been trained. Yeah. the darkness
they
traded
have
from me.
room. We have room.
Yeah.
I mean,
the darkness traded
has
his,
room.
his-
I'm not part of
the
that.
darkness traded his 4th round pick for Jamie.
Yeah, we'll see how those all go. I mean,
What was the
but
Maggie
yeah, I mean-
incident? What was the Maggie incident?
To make a long story short, after Jamie had told Maggie that he didn't think Maggie should be friends with Rudy anymore because Rudy's a shitbag. Turned out to be completely true, by the way. Rudy's a shitbag, and like he's just going to hurt you. I can't stand him. Please don't hang around him anymore, which is kind of a shitty thing to ask somebody because it's sort of an ultimatum. But regardless, Maggie had agreed to that. Even after Jamie was like, "Are you sure about this?" Maggie agreed to that. And then the next day came back and was like, "Okay, no, I can't do that." And so Jamie got pissed off, and they went into this whole thing. The line that was delivered, it was at the well inside the school. Maggie, being a darkness user, and her professed that she really wanted to like make it known that people who use Dark Affinity weren't like bad people, and she does a. I guess it's probably fine to say that she's a witch at this point.
Yeah.
And then the line that Jamie had delivered was, for somebody, what was it? For someone who,
Oh no.
for somebody who like wants to make sure that people don't, it's like darkness isn't all bad. You sure have a lot of ugly in you. And so like that was a pretty. That was like the end of that relationship.
Okay, so question, because there's a lot of things I just don't understand, right? So, I keep getting this, like, they were friends? Or were they, like, was he trying to be inappropriate friends? And then that's why you were like, nah, because you're kind of getting up on the thing that, like, because then it's a little different than, like, it's not an ultimatum. It's more like, yo, me and this girl got a thing. Maybe this guy's trying to get up on my thing that, I thought we were establishing, and it's kind of, like, rocking the thing that I thought we had. But then, like, and if we have this thing, is that okay if I see it as a thing? And if so, maybe not do this other thing with the thing. You know what I mean? But, like, what kind of thing was it?
You want a recap of because it might.
Because I don't know. Dude, I have zero context. I have zero clue.
Yeah, buckle in, boys. We got a fucking tale to tell.
Well,
all right, so Maggie was the one who pursued Jamie. That should be obvious because Jamie doesn't know the fuck about relationships, doesn't know at all what love is because he's never felt love in his life before. Because his parents are not exactly. Let's just say I like slipping in horror stories of what his parents do and how they treat people just as a whole, not just even Jamie at this point, but just as a whole. His entire family. Like, you think Vampire Society is fucked up? Wait until you hear about the Mulberries.
Everybody
Anyway,
had their own ugly, right?
The point here is that Maggie was the one who pursued Jamie. Obviously, Jamie's brand new at this, doesn't get it, doesn't really know how to respond, doesn't know how to, what an advance means, so on and so forth. But Maggie's into it, and Maggie's, by all appearances, understanding that she's got an uphill battle to climb, but that she wants to climb the hill.
Okay.
They have a lot of talks about, opening up about, like, kind of, Maggie's, like, told Jamie that she's a witch and, the kind of things that she wants to accomplish in the future. Jamie told, some about his past, so they had a good repertoire. During Fortune Bay, there's a full-on, like, Maggie confessing to Jamie the first time that we're there. There's a full-on, like, confessing there, like a little kiss is given, just, on the cheek.
Right.
So, it's going along well. The first hurdle that comes is the dance. So...
The dance.
Before the dance, Hannah asks Jamie if Jamie wants to go to the dance.
Cute!
Now, this was pre-Maggie.
Aww.
For Maggie,
Didn't know that.
For
That's
Hannah,
cute.
It's definitely more like friendship, but also
Yes, of
more
course,
just
yeah.
the fact that Jamie's like an actual available human.
Yeah, there's not a lot of those, is there?
Not a whole lot of available
Slim
humans,
pickings in the
human
academy.
males specifically. So
Hot
then
commodity.
but then Maggie comes along, and then Maggie's like, "Hey, so Jamie, you want to go to the dance?" And Jamie, who doesn't understand the social implications of such thing, goes, "Yeah, sure, but you should probably ask Hannah if that's okay if you come with us." So that leads to a whole fucking thing between the two of them where they talk it out, and then Hannah, finally is like, "Oh, Jamie, just go with Maggie. It's fine. Don't worry about me." So it was a fun relationship, right? Throughout all this, it's going well. It's going okay. Things are developing. Maggie and Jamie actually slept in the same bed. Nothing happens. Jamie's just there fucking like a plank. Like, he doesn't.
Yeah, but that's that moment where like girl with experience, and you're like, oh my god.
Next to person. What am I doing? And he like gets no sleep that entire night.
Oh, of course not.
For good reasons. But anyway, at some point, Rudy and Maggie get high as fuck in their dorm room because Rudy brings in weed. That was entire deal.
What are the regulations of this academy?
His entire name was a play on weed. So they get blazed in the dorms, and Maggie decides that she's also liking Rudy, and Rudy's like deeply in love with Maggie now.
Wait, hold on. You're losing me. I need to reiterate and slow it down. So, you guys are hitting it off for a good while, say like a month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then...
I don't remember the exact time.
Yeah, and then you guys get high one night, and then she tells you, I got feelings.
No. Just Rudy and Maggie are hanging out.
Oh.
And
they got high one night.
Confessing to Jamie. Yeah.
Okay.
They get high one night together, and they start to develop feelings.
So they had one night of weed intoxication, and then feelings arrived?
Maggie!
I feel like there was a kiss exchange there too. I don't.
Whoa! Even surpassed you! Wow! You were sleeping at the wheel, bro.
I wasn't there, so I don't know that for sure. I think it happened, but it may have just almost happened, but didn't happen. I don't. So I can't actually say for sure.
Okay.
Anyway, the point is that at that point, Rudy believes that he and Maggie are in a relationship.
Oh.
So we go on to the next set of Fortune Bay, where Maggie's still at this point kind of two-timing in some ways, but not really, because like nobody was actually dating anyone at that point. There was just a lot of being like, hey, I like you.
No, we know exactly what was happening. You got fucked.
She's hanging out with Jamie being all cutesy, but she's also hanging out with Rudy. And at some point, I guess her and Rudy actually have a conversation about like spending their like future together, or some sort of weird conversation that I don't know the context of.
Oh my god.
The result of it becomes that it's Vev, Barian, Rudy, and Jamie sitting on the cliffs next to the beach, where they start talking about the dance. And Jamie goes, yeah, I'm going to the dance with Maggie. And Rudy goes, hey, maybe you probably want to go with somebody else because Maggie's my girlfriend. And so Jamie's just like...
What?
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 What? Huh? And not only is Jamie going like that, but Barry and Bev were like, huh? We haven't. What happened there? Like all we've seen is Maggie and Jamie. Where the fuck did you come from? So Jamie runs off because he's just like, I don't know what's going on here, but I don't feel comfortable, and I'm going to leave.
Rightfully so. You have no idea what's happening.
So then they continue on, and Maggie learns of this, and she's just like, whoa, I did not say that, Rudy. We are not actually dating. And that seemed to be the end of that. Problem is, Rudy's still up all in that business.
Well, because they're dating, but not dating. Right, because they're dating lightly, but not officially boyfriend-girlfriend. Right. So technically,
so then
he was right,
but the dance. Oh boy, the dance. What a fun time that was. Okay, so we get into the dance. Jamie and Maggie are sitting at a table. We're listening to music. We're dancing awkwardly because we don't know how to dance because we're Jamie and our feet don't work good. Also, I'm white as fuck and I don't know how to dance. So, I go and make the drastic mistake of clicking on a glass to spawn a glass of wine. And that crashes me immediately because there was a fun bug on the map where if you clicked on a glass, you crashed immediately.
Did you
So
get
in
cucked?
that
Did you get
time
cucked by the
that it
map?
took me
Oh no.
to get back in,
Oh no.
Rudy has sat down at the table next to Maggie.
Mr. Steal Your Man! Girl, excuse me.
So I walk back in. Now, Rudy and Maggie do not see me returning. What do I see? But Maggie stretching her legs out, playing footsies with Rudy.
Oh my god! Oh, Maggie! In public!
Stringy was literally just stretching her leg, but to Jamie, it looked like they were playing footsies, and he's like, what the fuck just happened? So, he doesn't say anything, he just sits back down, and, you know, they continue dancing, the night continues, and he sees Rudy around every single fucking corner. Whenever him and Maggie are somewhere, he turns around and there's Rudy. Just somewhere close by. Now,
He's on the prowl, bro!
some of this completely coincidental. Some of it very not coincidental.
No, shit sus.
And
Dude, do not
so-
trust men. They hone in on that shit and they will steal your girl, bro. They will!
So, at the end of the night, Jamie and Maggie go back to Vanguard. Now, apparently Maggie had promised Rudy a final dance. She never got the opportunity to do that at the dance. So Jamie and Maggie are back at Vanguard, and Jamie takes Maggie up to the Vanguard Tower under the beautiful moonlight. They have a little dance there, and then they go to bed. And then it turns out that Rudy had... First of all, he made a deal with one of the little fairies running around to go into Vanguard because Rudy's not allowed in Vanguard, but he made a handshake deal with a fairy to go into Vanguard to find Maggie for him. The fairy didn't go up to the tower, so that never happened. But then Rudy spent the entire fucking night outside of Vanguard waiting for Maggie for his final dance. Now, at that point, this was when Jamie and Maggie had finally been like, okay, we're going to try the dating thing. Does Jamie have any idea what it means? No. Does Maggie have any idea what she's gotten into? Potential.
No.
The next day, we find out about Rudy, and Jamie's like, I don't like this guy. He's weird,
Okay.
he's creepy, he's lying, and I don't like people who lie. So down at the beach, Maggie and Jamie have a talk. Jamie goes,
Maggie.
listen, I can't, if we're gonna do this, I can't have Rudy hanging around. Like, I can't do it. He's a bad guy, and more of just like me. He's going to hurt you.
Okay. I now understand what you're saying.
And Maggie agrees. And
Right.
out of character.
That's fine.
I thought I'm gonna bring this up, and this is gonna be it because this is a completely unreasonable ask.
Is it? You think so?
Never agree to.
Okay, all right. Let's open up this can of worms. Okay, you have a man, you have a guy whose literally only goal is to steal your girl. That is not a guy after her friendship. That's a guy after her whatever's in her pants. And that is not conducive to a friendship or you or her. So you are totally within your right to say you were uncomfortable. It makes you uncomfortable, and that if they spend alone time, that yeah, it's a little uncomfortable, because you also said in the past that you did have feelings for them. And then why do you feel the need to spend alone time with someone else other than me if you don't have feelings? Like at that point it gets a little weird, right? Like there's some give and take with some relationships here, right? And like there's some boundaries that are allowed to be set. And you were basically saying,
Yeah.
he freaks me out. He's obviously after your body or he wants you. He wants you to be, he wants you with for his own.
That part.
And everyone could see that. So obviously that's going to make you uncomfortable. That's a totally justified feeling. And I don't want to sit here and reverse bash anybody if they ever felt that way, because yes, men are creepy like that. Same with, I mean, and we'll be fair, people are creepy like that. They go after people that they probably shouldn't. And it's okay to point it out. Does that make you a bad person? No, you're pointing out a fucking fact. They're after you. You could tell. They even said it. I don't like it.
I don't disagree, but I also think it gets a little weird when you're like, hey, I can't be around you if you're gonna continue to be around that person. It's just a little bit of a weird ultimatum put in there.
Yeah.
Especially when it's
it's a little harsh when you start out, right, starting out. I mean, just talking about it first probably would have been a thing like, hey, he's kind of weird, you know, it makes me uncomfortable when you hang out with him, you know, like.
Well, I mean, that's sort of
you know.
all happened in that same conversation. Anyway, my point is, like, at that point, to me, that was like, are you sure you want to do this, Maggie? Are you absolutely sure? Because there's a condition now. Can you accept that condition? And is it right for a person to ask you or not? There's a condition there now. Can you agree to that?
Right, you
And
don't
she
feel
says yes.
comfortable, basically. Like,
Yeah,
you're
and
basically
that's
said, I don't
and
feel
then she
comfortable
agrees
with
to it.
this, and they said that they would do it, right? They said that they would live up to whatever this is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
did agree.
apparently, she agrees, and
All
now
right.
I don't know. I think after that, she had one final conversation, maybe, and I don't know if it was with Rudy or with other people about this, but she basically backtracks on her word.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie's not a fan of people who go back on things that they promised, and to him, that's you
True.
being a liar about it. Especially when, like, it wasn't even just like one time. It's like, hey, I asked you this thing, but you look kind of sad right now. Are you sure about this? Yes, I'm sure about this. Okay, well, all right. Let's do this then.
Right,
And so
well,
that's where then.
this basically sounds like she had feelings for the other
Now,
person, too, and she didn't know
you
what
want-
she wanted,
you wanna
couldn't
know
figure
the-
it out, right?
Yeah.
The insanity part about this
Hmm.
is that much later on, a little bit like after everything had been broken up, and Jamie was just like, I don't want anything to do with either of you anymore. You deserve each other. Go fuck off. So Maggie couldn't give it up, and at some point, her and Rudy are Rudy's trying to console her, and he brings up a poly relationship. And I feel like
Jamie, what about Jamie? Has anything give you the hint that that's what he
Like-
wanted?
generally, if you want to be in a poly relationship, everyone kind of has to get along.
Yeah, you made it very apparent you don't like this guy.
Your guts. He has sat up on his balcony and sort of imagined what your head would look like if a coin were to explode it. Like, he never would. But, like, you know, there was this moment where he had a coin in his hand because he was fucking around with it. And you know, Rudy's down there. And Jamie's like, I'd be
Just
so
happened
easy.
to be in coin shooting range.
It'd be so easy.
That could have been the
And he took
first
coin
moment.
Away. But my point is, yeah. But, you know, it's like, that's why he was so thrilled to have GMA fucking finally leave. Where just,
Right,
like,
right.
At that point, he could just, like, it's out of mind. It's gone. I
Yeah.
don't
yeah,
ever
yeah.
have to see these people again.
Free
Don't
to
ever have to
Riz.
hear from these people again.
Well, it sounds like you were so confused. I mean, you were like, okay, first of all, you're someone who has no relationship experience, and then they automatically went to like ultra hard mode poly, bro. You can't even, you couldn't even handle the one-on-one.
Thing was
Holy shit!
insanity. Like, why? And you know, it's like Rudy, your desperation is palpable.
Man,
You know, I get it. I get why Jamie killed that vampire now.
I do too. I get it now too. I'm a Jamie sympathizer. I'm not kidding.
So yeah, I mean, that's why that conversation that happened, like a few weeks ago happened, because she came back and she wanted to talk, and Jamie's like, fuck no, I don't want to talk, and then Baron's like, well, you gotta do it, otherwise I'm gonna follow you around the entire night, and Jamie's just like, all of you, fucking darkness, please come and just obliterate everyone right now. But anyway, we
Oh
wanted to
my
go talk,
god.
and that talk was basically like, I forgot about you, right? Like, you don't like, I just, why are you here? Why are we doing this? Move on with your life. Don't think about me. I don't think about you. We're done. And that was basically the finale of that part.
Wild.
Yeah, that is pretty wild, Jamie. I mean,
So,
yeah, that's a lot of growth and learning and fuckery that, man, you were way in over your head.
and like, I mean, this was like, sorry, I gotta throw something out real quick. This was like months of storyline that culminated with that.
Right, yeah,
It's
yeah.
fucking wild.
The ending.
So,
I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus. A lot of... I don't even know... Yeah,
That
Jamie did nothing wrong.
was a whole. We just got a whole arc. That was good.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best part about all that too was Vev, who likes to profess about how much she gets all the facts from all sides before making a decision.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Talked to Rudy, talked to Maggie, talked to Cortez, did not talk to Jamie before making the decision. Well, oh, it's just jealous boys being jealous boys, and I was just like,
What? Wait, what?
Bev, please.
Why? What?
that was her
Jealous
change.
boys?
Maggie, you did nothing wrong. It's just jealous.
Oh, because she's supposed to be queen bee and have all you guys like this. Ah, makes
I don't
sense.
even know.
Listen, you should have caved, man. You could have had that anime where you were like the second guy. You know?
By the way, if you ever hear me ribbing Miss You a little bit about, the talk, that's what the talk was supposed to be that never happened. 'Cause
Oh, there's lots of those.
I said never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. Happens in this academy.
Yeah, and you know what the worst part of it
Oh,
was? We had, between Jamie and Maggie, a fantastic ship name.
Oh, what was it?
Jamwich.
I mean,
no.
that's, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's good. I like that. Damn.
Yeah, coulda, woulda, shoulda, almost.
Maggie.
You had a good romantic
Maggie.
build-up, too. You just got cucked, literally, by the third wheel.
And that
What
wine.
happened?
And then you got in trouble for pointing it out. The injustice! Darkness, raise him up as one of your pupils. Show him the way.
Yes. Who's first
So-
on? Who's first on your docket
mean, that-
for
Yeah, true.
Academy to kill when you become an initiate?
I think the answer is yes.
Oh
Oh no.
But no, like I think if there was a formative time for not just Jamie, but for people to be introduced into Jamie's life, that's where a lot of people got involved because it was, that's
Oh,
when Jamie
being
actually
roped
had
in
an
with
arc
that.
going on.
no.
There was a lot of viewers who were deeply invested to what was going on there.
We have some people asking, do people have a chance now, or is Jamie just single for life?
So there is, like, we are underneath about 18 layers of fuckery at the moment.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like,
I don't think.
mean, like, can I say that no? Obviously not. But there is very little chance
that anyone's gonna want to have anything to do with him in any sort of relationship capacity, and more to the point of like, hey, the last time I tried that, I don't know what happened, but I didn't like it. So, no. Right?
They
Like,
had to go on
that's
a journey.
yeah.
I
Like,
can see
we
it.
have
It just
to
takes
go
one
through-
sympathizer, like that has been through something similar or whatever, and they will be like, "I'm just like them," and then they will be literally become.
It was kind of funny because when Tia showed up, Tia and Jamie kind of got to be friends pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah?
'cause Jamie had, like, Jamie saw Tia being alone a lot, and so it kind of felt a kinship because he was alone a lot. So they kind of started having talks. And Tia's not interested in relationships, but like that maybe if a murder hadn't happened, like maybe in the long run that could have been like a potential like end of year 4, or something. But out of the current people, the only one I could even potentially say may be ever a thing is Dita. But like once again, there's so much there that has to first get.
Yeah, there's not even a rapport there.
unfurled,
Yeah,
fixed. Yeah, it's like, yeah. So
I mean, they were emotionally
my point
invested
right now is
in your decision, right? They were one of the few that actually took it to heart. So that obviously shows an ounce of caring, right? Like all the other, like Chipz included, he did what? Okay, let's just guard the door. Like we weren't crying about it, but Dita was distraught. She was like, "Fuck!" But then again, we've been burned, so I guess we're a little bit more jaded.
slightly Dita's fault that it got found out in the first place, because she's the one who sent out the search.
Oh yeah.
Cause she cares.
Because she thought she was like worried about him being alone out there with a vampire.
Oh,
Dita.
She cares too much. She's a hindrance.
so well.
Gotta take her out.
that's the first person that Dark's gonna tell you to take out.
True, because it's the weakest link. Yeah, it's the closest one to. Yes, gotta take out the competition.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
We'll see.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Wow, what a story. Okay, well, I'm glad I got the whole thing now, so I can now officially, from the sidelines, be like, yeah, fuck that.
You have material for the darkness.
Yeah, more material. Yeah, yes. You can't trust any men. Sorry.
Bruh, if Maggie shows up as a full-time student, Jamie's going to fucking lose it. Yes! You want to know who's first to go? That's the first to go. Maybe, but like even then, like I don't. The funny part is I don't. It's like Jamie doesn't even like hate Maggie. He hates Rudy. He doesn't hate Maggie. He just doesn't want to have her around or be present or talk to him. Like that's.
He doesn't.
Yeah, she lost their
He doesn't wanna feel
chance.
about-
That's
he doesn't wanna
it. She
feel
lost her
any of that
chance.
Stuff that happened.
Yeah, it's
right?
like stop fucking bugging me.
Yeah, you're in my life.
the
This
fuck
is
up.
my life. Your life is over there. AA is mine. I mean, it makes
don't
sense.
trust
It makes
men.
sense.
Don't trust men.
Well, listen. I learned a long time ago. I don't. No, hell no.
You men. True.
You know how many supposed friends have tried to get with my girlfriend? Not my current one, I'm talking, but other girlfriends in the past.
Yeah.
Assholes!
People
All of them!
terrible all too often.
Fucking wild.
Something about like, I can be that shoulder you can cry on. I'll listen to you. Oh yeah, you can complain about him. I'll listen. Get out of here with that shit! Alright, anyways. Enough hating on men for the night.
There's always more room for hating men. It's great. It's
What? Listen, I love myself, okay? And I'm from the crowd.
I'm no trouble admitting like we tend to be terrible. We tend to have some very, very misguided notions.
I and for me, like
I
in the
try
real
not to,
world,
but
like I've learned, like I don't, well, what's the word? Like when I have a significant other, I'm not gonna have a bestie girlfriend. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be like hanging out with some girl that's like my best friend or something like that. I normally hang out with my girlfriend. My girlfriend's my best friend. You know, like I could literally say Chi-Chi's my best friend, right? Like if I'm gonna make a decision to hang out with somebody, I'm hanging out with her. Like that's my girl. That's my best friend. Like that's who I like want to spend my time with, and I would want them to be part of any hangout session I'm with. I wouldn't want to hang out with anybody
you're
else.
the kind of person who can definitely separate
Ew.
friends
That's
from
cute.
potential love interests, it's a lot easier. There's just a lot of dudes who just don't have the ability to do that. Like, for me, I generally know very early on whether or not I'm going to be interested in somebody in anything more than a friend way. But, you know, I know that being friends with the opposite sex while you're dating somebody can be a little bit problematic. As long as, you know, you kind of, you know, there's a certain level of trust that's got to happen, but, you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
You also gotta know
People
yourself.
get burned by that shit all too often. You
I
know.
mean, you can have friends. I just mean like, I'm more than likely gonna hang out with my girlfriend, who's my best friend, than say someone else, or I would at least want them to be with me when I'm hanging out with my other friend. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Happy birthday.
You want an
apparently.
alibi.
Oh, thank you.
I
Yeah.
forgot to
Oh
say
yeah.
that.
Yeah, old.
Happy
I'm
birthday.
old. I'm old.
Trust me, I'm almost certainly older.
Maybe not, but probably. I don't know. I'd like to think. I would like to think. I'm never saying my age because unfortunately we are in that day and age where it's better to be ageless.
Yeah, like a vampire.
Pretty much, because if you can, give the illusion, then you can be for as long as you want.
The funny part is no one will ever guess I'm as old as I am because I don't live the lifestyle of somebody who's my age. Don't act like it. Don't sound like
Right.
it. Don't look it. So, at some point
Yep.
it's like,
Amen.
It doesn't even matter.
True. I mean, yeah, as long as you're not, stroking out, you're fine. Are you staying healthy?
As long as you're
Oh.
not doing anything naughty.
No, always do naughty. That keeps you healthy.
Okay, fine. Illegal naughty.
Okay, all right, true.
Goodness.
Listen, good food, a good sex life. I'm telling you, you'll live forever.
And apparently roleplay. Hey.
I mean, yeah, that's just having, that's
Yeah.
have a passion hobby, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's some people who don't have hobbies, and that's like literally a foreign concept to me.
That's
Like-
terrifying.
Right? What do you do in your free time? I watch TV. What?
What do you think about?
What do you?
I
Yeah.
don't
I-
freaking. It's crazy to me.
I
You know something randomly funny to me, by the way? The Jamie parallels to Joseph have been
huge.
so plentiful, and I did not mean any of it. So I watched a lot of season 1. I did not get to watch that much of season 2, so I never like I kind of tune in every now and then. I didn't even
Fair.
realize that like Joseph played a flute, and so when I had picked up. Because this comes back to hobbies, because I had started doing music stuff, right? And so when I picked up that flute, like it wasn't until like months later when someone was like, "Hey, by the way, Joseph had a flute," and I'm just like, "Mother, I'm never beating the allegations."
So you already had that flute when we asked you about it? That's not. I thought you went out and like got a flute. No, you straight up already had it. That's sick.
I've been learning since like March of this year.
That means you were meant to be
so-
evil. You were meant for this story.
I
My divination reached out through the ether.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has a very beautiful song that's played with the Shinobue flute, and I just wanted to learn it. So I grabbed one, and I've been taking lessons from somebody since like March, and then somebody's like, "By the way, you can play here's the one that Joseph played." I'm just like, son of a bitch. I feels like I'm copying the man, and I didn't even mean to.
No, you're not It's perfect. It's actually, Like I said, we asked. I thought you did it for the thing. It turns out you were actually
Oh no,
doing
no,
the
it was,
thing.
it was just.
That's
already,
sick.
Well, but that's the thing is like it was actually already built in because almost nobody ever knew it. But a lot of times when I was sitting on the balcony, I was just playing.
I had no clue. I just thought
It's-
I
it's
wanted
totally
it. I
fine.
wanted it. That's awesome. That's sick. I need to have a better pulse. If I'd have known this, I would have been probably asked earlier.
Sorry, no worries. But yeah, it's just funny how all that worked out.
Yeah, it is funny. Yeah. Well, I mean, you get to put it to use now. You know, we get to use it.
But once again, talking about hobbies and
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, music. Well, but you also do VR, role play, and then I mean,
Sure,
you
yeah,
got
yeah,
we have multiple hobbies now, right? Like, and some of it's voice acting, and then there's acting, and then there's just the role play in general, and then being part of communities. You know, playing video games. Also,
yeah, people
like you
who
got a
just
lot.
like sit around and they just like kind of just do nothing. Like I'm all for doing nothing sometimes, but when you just
Sometimes.
it's like you have
Or
work
vegging on
and you
in
have
front of the
like,
TV.
TV that you like sort of are watching, but not really. I'm like, yeah, if you're happy with your life, go for it. But it's
True.
it is so. It's like and
Not for me.
going back to music. People who tell me that they don't listen to music, I'm just like, how do you not listen to music? Do you not have a favorite song?
How do you keep
like
the
what?
bad thoughts away?
Hot, hot take here, but music has kind of lost its luster for me, especially in this new generation. Unfortunately, because it's so easy to just generate shit now, like, I'm kind of just, like, over it a little bit. There's just so much
I mean, I
being
don't think-
released at one time, and it's all just generic, and I don't know. That and movies, they've all kind of lost their creative oomph for me. Maybe I've
I can
gotten
definitely see
older,
where you're coming from.
or maybe the
but I think that
creativity's dropped out. I don't know.
Like, I think if
It's somewhere in you, there's still a like for a fondness for it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just
of
like,
course. I'm just saying music is
It's not
kind
like
of
it's not like
muddy.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, look, the commercialization of shit will always fuck things up. Like, and a lot of it, it's the same notion that like there are no good games being made. No, there's a lot of good games being made. The problem is when Steam is releasing like 5,000 games every week, finding the ones that are actually good gets to be a little bit problematic, and you know some other stuff in the ecosystem. But you just get overwhelmed with so much slop that wading through it is just not worth getting to the one that you resonate with.
Yeah, sure. I mean, especially trying to get through fucking Spotify. I mean, Jesus, good luck. I don't even know how do you even navigate that shit.
I don't know. I mean, I use it. But like I often listen to the same bands that I did 20 years ago. So it's like,
Okay, fair. Well, I don't really. What do I listen to now? Mainly fantasy stuff because when I'm riding, but that's about it. It's about
I
it.
listen to audiobooks currently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just there's some people who are like, yeah, I just don't listen to music ever. I don't have a favorite band. I never had a favorite song. I'm like, man, that's odd. That's so odd.
I'm getting a thing. What is happening to me? I
don't know what is happening. Oh,
I don't
it's
know.
10:22.
Oh, I guess that was who's.
Oh, shit.
Wait, are you?
we've been here for a while.
shooting me?
Yeah.
Wait,
I mean, that's
you
the great part
called
is
message?
when when you get onto topics. And...
I sent you something still.
What? What happened?
Watch it later.
Yeah, what did you send me? What was that?
It's your birthday.
It's my birth. And why did who else sent the same thing?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll watch it. Yeah, I'll watch it later. I don't know what it is though. I don't know what you did or what you sent, but I hope it's okay and it doesn't give me anything weird. All right, Chad.
It won't. It's just a video.
We're getting towards the tail end of the podcast. If you guys have questions for our man here, Jamie, now is the time. Hit me with them.
Throw it at me.
We went into the plan. We went into 2 girl problems, which were probably the 2 biggest things for Jamie. We went into the killing of the vampire and his darkness stuff. So
Some darkness stuff.
yeah, some darkness stuff. You know, I mean, you did do
actually stuff. Oh, since Kia's here, you wanna invite her? We have another fill a seat too for a little bit.
for right now. I think we're about ending, aren't we? I mean, yeah, they can come. They can come for a couple minutes, sure. Fill it out. We're almost done though. Vinny, what squad would Jamie like to join now that he's not in Vanguard? This is from Tats.
I mean, I think the better question is what squad would ever take him.
Oh my god, alright,
That
true.
is a good question, huh?
Because I don't think any of them would. Potentially, the only one I could see is maybe AB, but Dars hates his guts. If there's one person
Does
who
Dars?
might murder Jamie, it would be Dars.
Really? Why?
Yeah. They've never gotten along,
one.
and Dars was the first person who Jamie talked to after, literally seconds after murdering a vampire, and was
Thank you,
so
Paperbucket.
super nonchalant about the entire thing. So Dars was just like, "Fuck that guy."
Oh,
Anyway,
fair.
yeah, I mean, here's the funny part. I
Plus
never expected
one.
to be in Vanguard. I was fully convinced that I was going to Gallant.
That would have been a decent choice.
And basically the way that I said it at the start was when you know, before we're getting put in, is that if Jamie wants to become who Jamie wants to become, he would go to Crystal Thorn. For Jamie to become who his father wants him to be, he would go to Vanguard. If Jamie would stay the same, he would go to Gallant. Because I don't think Gallant would have challenged him to become a different person.
I see.
I did not expect to go to
Interesting.
Vanguard at all, though. I thought it was going to be like hard into Gallant. So then I found out like much later on that like it was apparently the vote was split hard between Crystal Thorn and Vanguard, and that like Gallant was never actually in play, which was like a pretty big surprising thing to find out. I don't know if it's true, but somebody I think said that to me at some point. I don't know. Vanguard was fine. You know, there was a lot of fun in there, but as for where he would currently go, I cannot see him fitting in anywhere at the moment. Like, he's not going to Ignis because obvious
you
reasons.
know what? Would you take this guy? Would you take this guy in?
I'm gonna
Ignis?
be honest. Chipz doesn't care. Chipz and Victor have teamed up
Victor
with
might have a
people who wanted to.
problem, however.
Really? Because Victor has teamed up with people who want to kill him all the time. He's used to it. He's literally used to it.
Crystal Thorn may have been an interesting one now because Stark was a big no-no against Jamie after the murder incident. But Stark's gone, and he actually somewhat gets along with Ellie, but apparently Lux. Okay, the last episode we were here when we had to like where you were showing the cube.
Yep.
And you took the bracelet of Jamie.
Yep.
And fucking Lux went into his armor. I was just like, bro, are you for real, dude? Like, are you that fucking of a little bitch boy that you think, like?
I mean, true. I mean, you call him out. I mean, he's fragile human though.
He's like, oh, I don't trust him. I'm gonna protect myself. It's like, shut the fuck up, you little wussy boy.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so there might be a little bit of a problem there. But I don't think he actually has an issue. Like, I don't know if Morgan or Ellie really has an issue with him. So, but I also don't know what Shizu thinks. So who knows how that would go. If he has his problems, he would. No way Gallant would work because of Misty. That would be a huge problem. Considering Misty was the one that sold him out.
after promising to him, "Don't worry, it's your deal. Don't worry about it. I won't say anything." She said that twice before 5 minutes later, literally going and telling all of Galland every single detail. Which, the rhetoric, by the way, apparently was that, oh, Jamie begged Misty not to say anything. No, Misty just found out, and then she herself said, "No, don't worry, I won't tell anyone."
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Jesus Christ, people with their misinformation.
That'd be so fun.
So, and Zachary obviously hates his guts, so he's not going back to Vanguard. So, like, at this point, it's just...
Honestly, it sounds like Ignis is your best shot, because I think Fev would be your biggest opponent on that one, though.
Probably. I think
Plus she
Fev
wouldn't-
believes that Jamie's a complete racist right now or something. That's the last I heard. I
mean, Chipz has
should
been
find
fine
out
with...
it too, actually.
hate
Yeah, I think
vampires indiscriminately or something.
Well, Chipz has been fine with him. He's been open arms. Victor maybe
Yeah,
whatever,
I'm talking
but
about
yeah.
in specific.
Yeah, Vev is really your only issue.
Yeah. So I mean, but like, really, the point is like, I don't think Jamie's going to a squad anywhere anytime soon. Anyway, there's a lot to undo first. I mean, hell, Gavin is still in general at this point. I expect he will be placed somewhere most likely, but like, I just don't think it's a good idea for it to happen anytime soon. Anyway, and I think things are going to change in terms of squad makeup soon. In terms of, I don't know,
Right.
The North.
I know you told about new people getting in at potentially at some point. So
That'll be fun.
who knows what the fuck will happen at that point. But yeah,
Right.
I just don't think that'll.
Well, everything's going to shake
get,
out
I
to
don't
be a
think
little
placement will
different.
happen. I mean,
We're definitely in a time of
if and when
change,
we ever
right?
get to
So,
a year
She might not know
four,
where to go.
and if and when we get to year 4, and if Jamie's even alive at that point, or he's been fully converted to the darkness and either gone away or been murdered,
It's a cheat
all
sheet.
of that is all of that is just like kind of like a toss up at this point. I abstain from the question because I don't have an answer for it.
all right, fair. All right, so what does Jamie think of... Whoops, I just missed one. If Jamie survives to the end of the year 4, where do you think he will be, and what do you think he will be doing? It's an interesting, vague question.
I mean,
It's
look, in a
probabilities
lot
question,
of
right?
ways, before Jamie can move on, he will have to completely break. And his entire worldview is going to have to get shattered. That's
Okay.
a tough thing to do, and a tough thing to ask of somebody.
So
There's a...
I think a lot of people will probably say the same thing about themselves. But I don't think we'd survive if we all broke.
Sure. And I mean, that's... There...
Fuck it, we die!
I firmly believe that there is a ticking time on Jamie's existence at this point. And that's just kind of how circumstances have led us here.
I'm sure.
Am I looking to kill him off? No. I very much am the kind of role player who goes with the flow, who looks for opportunities that are happening in role play in any given moment to make a thing happen at any given time. So it'll be very hard to do, but like, he's going to have to break something is going to have to break his rigid point of view for him to realize that there are things that he's done wrong, and then come to terms with the things that he's done wrong, and then actually start to figure out a way to make amends for the things that he's done. Like, and that's who the fuck
Right.
knows if that'll be a thing that will happen.
All right. Okay, God, there's...
So I don't know. We're in a darkness route. Obviously, we're gonna explore that for a while,
True.
and we'll see where that takes us. And if that takes us to doom, that takes us to doom. If it takes us to redemption in the end, it takes us to redemption in the end. we're riding the dragon right now. That's what's going on.
Buckle
Let
up,
her ride.
Chad. All right, I'll try to get to these other questions here. So who is not on Jamie's shit list at this moment?
Honestly, most people aren't. Like as I said, like Jamie doesn't really actively hate too many people. In order to get on Jamie's hit list, not hit list, but shit list.
Hit list? Oh my god.
I mean,
Damn,
maybe turning
alright.
to hit list slowly, but shit list. It's
Same
really
thing,
like
you know?
You have to,
Let's fucking go.
if you lie to his face, you're on the shit list. It's that simple. So really, like currently, the only people that we can think of is Lenneth and Misty.
Reliant.
I'm a little surprised the list is not longer. But
Zachary's
That does make sense.
Zachary's kind of, but more
bro,
because Zachary's
kind of.
a
Dude
hypocritical.
knocked you into the ground.
Well, but once again, the only reason Jamie's mad about that at all
he
is
wanted
because
it to happen.
is no. It's you're a
damn
hypocritical
it.
shit. Look, you just went on this like rant about how it's not right for you to judge people and do things to them by punching me in the face because you didn't think that the punishment that was given was strong enough, or you had to dole out your own form of punishment. Yeah, what does that make you here? Like what are we doing here? So it's like kind of, but not like super so. He's never gotten along with Barian.
Why do you think that is? I mean,
That's-
Barian, for the most part, gets along with everybody.
Because Barian's goody two shoes act does not play over well.
Ah, you just don't like
That had
people
to
who
do-
holier than thou complexes.
Largely that had to do with Finn. When we fought Finn, Jamie was ready to kill him. Barian got in the way, and then they had a pretty terse exchange of words of Jamie going, "Next time I'm pulling the trigger," and Barian saying, "No, the fuck you're not." So that's kind of where that got left off. So they've kind of always had this like very frigid relationship. But like on everyone else, it's more of a hatred of everything rather than a specific person in that sense, right? Like it's like the world is unjust, the world is unfair, the world sucks.
Right.
Bad people get away with doing bad things because people are too stuck up to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So does Jamie agree with the sentiment that you can have his view of justice, but how things are done matter?
Is the question if Jamie agrees with that?
I think so.
Yes.
How that's worded, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Ignore me, I'm fucking dying. I have Arrow Robot on my side.
essentially the way that it is in Jamie's head is like, bad people are bad people. If bad people die, that's okay. Because bad people aren't
Hold on,
really
hold-
people. They're just bad. So, and to stress this, it's Jamie hasn't always been the one. It's like if you're a bandit who's killing stuff, but you're doing it because your family's starving, or like not even killing stuff, but like stealing bread because your family's starving. That still makes you a bad person. If you're a bad person and you happen to die, whatever. You were a bad person.
Okay.
That's what happens to bad people. But it wasn't. The vampire was the first time that Jamie's been the one who actively took it in his hands to deliver that justice. And to be fair, that happened very much largely because he was stopped from doing that to Finn.
He finally became a made man.
If because everyone stuck their neck out for Finn to protect him so he wouldn't get murdered. Now Jamie's thought was like, next time I'm not letting anyone not get in my way or
Ugh.
not letting me pull the trigger. So that's why he went through that entire thing to set it up where it's just him and the vampire, so nobody can get in the way. So the answer is, kind of no, right? Like, it doesn't matter. The question that I like to ask people, because I think it's a kind of an interesting question, and I think I asked it of Kay. Would you rather win a war or be satisfied with how you lose it? That's kind of like, do the means justify the ends when we're dealing with apocalyptical, world-ending shit?
So when you were, after you committed the crime, did the deed, so to speak, do you feel that, what did you think was going to happen for your punishment? Did you feel you got a flight? Should you've gotten more? What were you expecting?
The thing is, I don't know. I was hoping that nobody would fucking find out. That's what I was hoping.
Yeah, obviously. But when you were shitting yourself
We're
waiting
so
for it,
close.
what did you think was going to happen?
So close.
Honestly, I don't know. Because in the world of AA, it's kind of an unprecedented thing, right? Like, it's the first time that anyone's killed somebody in cold blood and gotten caught. So how you guys were going to handle it, I had no idea. And, I was ready for whatever. Was I going to get left behind in Fallbrook? And that was it, because it's really, and really thinking about it, it's Fallbrook's issue. It makes sense that Fallbrook's just like, will you guys just fucking leave already and take your problems with you? Makes total sense.
True.
So, was I ready for him to spend the next several months in the dungeons? Yeah. But I had no... was I just going to be like, okay, well, Jamie's gone? Yeah, I was prepared for that too. Funny enough, and I didn't do the deed because of this, but it's kind of funny how it worked out. The Fallbrook episode where you guys were like, hey, in this episode, there's really like some hardship that's going to happen. Who doesn't mind if they die? That moment, that episode, was the first time that I felt like, you know what? If Jamie goes here, right now, I'm okay. Before this, like, if Jamie happened to die, I would have been like, hey, I'm dead. But man, that doesn't fucking suck. Damn it, I wish I could have done something different. If if in that episode Jamie would have died, I would have been like, okay. So in some sense, I was ready to lose Jamie already. So I wasn't actually as stressed about it. I was very just interested to see where you guys wanted to take it.
That's an interesting thing that you brought up, the stress of dying for players. Now, we've always said that it's supposed to be on the table, right? Like, you should just be playing your character that you could die. Like, that's the whole point. We shouldn't have, like, this armor. We shouldn't have... I mean, if you made the fucking mistake and it stacked and all your decisions led you to stand underneath the house that was falling over and you just stood there and you watched it fall on you, we're not gonna save you. Yeah, you should probably...
For sure.
Yeah,
but
you should probably take it.
There's a difference between being like, yeah, okay, I died, but fuck.
Right.
And a difference
People want good deaths.
between that.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a difference between that and being like, I have made my peace with this. If it comes, it
right.
comes.
Because
Like, that's where I'd suddenly got to.
Because I think most people, for the most part, play their characters like, yeah, we could die. But I think
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
that's how it was at the beginning. And the reason why we brought it up again was because I think a lot of people were playing a little too, like they were too badass, and we had to be like, yo, guys, you're in a dangerous mission now. Like it's time.
Yeah,
Like
cool
you're gonna
a little
get
bit.
fucked up now. It's time. You're gonna be taking some D and damage. I shouldn't.
Shit, alright. Damn. Shit. You did say who do you think is gonna get paid
I know it's a bad experience with him.
All right, you know what?
for now. That
Jamie, take the wheel, man. You asked the next question.
I was gonna say is,
Who's D?
Someone got a
the
strap.
answer is
For
yes.
sure.
The thing is, like, when Jamie got stabbed by Lenora in that episode,
Mhm.
I was like, oh, this could actually be dead right now. It just so happened that the stabbing happened right next to where everyone was getting healed, and I got dragged
Hi.
into Morgan's, exhaustion circle.
That was gonna happen no matter
if
what,
that
by the
happened,
way.
like there was like a very high chance of him just bleeding out right there because you got stabbed through the fucking chest, right? Like, it's hard to come back from that sort of thing.
It's interesting.
But my point is, like, in some ways, the outcome of the killing and what was going to happen, I was just like, I am very curious to see what this was going out. You know, I am sure the admins will want to talk to me in some fashion sometime soon, and they'll let me know what my fate is. But I was more than ready to let go and just be like, yeah, I mean, he did a thing, he got punished, and he's gone, and that would have been it.
True.
On a point, it's fucking insane that exhaustion circle was gonna happen regardless. But the fact that Jamie is one of like the two people that were saved because of it is funny in the sense of, if I did not save this man, this other person would still be alive, wouldn't they? It's kind of a weird of, I saved
and we have uncovered the plot of Monster. Okay.
yeah, really.
Oh, jeez. Oh, here's a question. Do you think that if Rudy didn't exist and the relationship went well with Maggie, do you think Jamie would have gotten to the point where he killed the vampire, like a butterfly effect sort of deal?
It is so hard to tell, and I think largely the large part of the problem there is Jimmy left, and there was a long time between Jimmy leaving and Fallbrook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've been alone, basically.
I would say that there is a definite chance that it wouldn't have happened. That mindsets would have been different. So yes, that possibility is definitely there. But I can't say for certain.
Hard to tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like Jamie was in a good space, right? Like really, all things considered, at that given point, he was in a good spot, just as a functional person, and with a life. And so, how much difference? How much difference would a long distance
Stability in this
girlfriend
academy?
have made at that point? I don't know.
Okay. So, flip it. If the incidents didn't happen, would you have been as angry as you were to have made that decision?
If the Maggie stuff hadn't happened,
Yeah, if it just didn't happen, would you have been angry enough to pull the trigger? Would you have been?
Absolutely.
So you still would have been angry.
He mentioned Finn, I think, was one of the driving points.
The
right?
big
Finn
catalyst.
was one of the driving points, but really the big driving point was Lenora fucking around with Rana, who is one of Jamie's most treasured
Yeah.
people. Jamie really likes Rana, and not in like a romantic way, but Jamie like really considers Rana to be his close, good friend.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Alright.
Yeah.
I think
And
she's
the
pretty
fact that Lenora basically like made Rana beg for us to kill Rana so that she would stop attacking us, and then
That
seeing
shit.
and then
Fuck,
having
man.
Lenora get off essentially scot-free, and then finding out that the vampire in question was a part of Lenora's circle, like it and to be clear, if that vampire had said no, I know Lenora, but I had no idea what's going on. Instead she was like, yeah, I definitely knew everything was going on, and I kind of worked for
She
her.
wanted
Like,
the clout.
It was like, yeah,
She
okay,
did.
You're
That's exactly
you're one
what
of
it was.
The bad ones. I am going to blow your
She
head off
wanted
now.
the clout.
So like in that sense, that like Maggie notwithstanding, I like if everything else would have played out exactly the same, I would be hard pressed to say that the same action would not have been taken.
You only got fucked because of who you did it to, in my personal opinion. Because if you would have done it,
Well, no, I got fucked.
Was it just because they were a
there's a certain
vampire,
hellhound
or-
who smelled something.
no.
Or
Okay.
like, what do you mean?
Okay.
So
Elaborate.
what do you mean? Yeah.
All right, so we have this
'Cause
bias
she's
in
a
our group,
noble?
right? No, think about this. Who in the academy loves the Inquisition? Anybody? Any Inquisition lovers here?
Does anybody?
Yeah,
think
exactly.
so.
And how many have like just slaughtered them in cold blood just because they're Inquisition? Yeah,
We wouldn't
people.
know.
I mean,
People
yeah,
would
yeah,
right,
but-
right. Let's just put it this way: people have. So like here's the thing: if this was an Inquisition member, do you think you would have gotten as much shit because they are
yeah.
well hated by everyone?
Well, yeah, considering the location. And the fact that the Inquisition were currently kind of pushing into that area, you would have angered the entire Inquisition, and they're very close to that place.
Well, the
people
Inquisition,
come
but like
through,
the
didn't they?
Academy.
well, the
But would the
Academy-
Academy
the
care?
Academy-wise,
The
people would
Academy
be upset.
hates the Inquisition.
Yes,
All our homies hate
that's
the
true.
Inquisition.
Yeah, that's true. I
my
thought you just meant
homies
like in
hate
the
the
sense of
Inquisition.
Fallbrook, because it's like, yeah, well, Fallbrook of course would still like have a problem with that because
But I mean, okay.
You know.
But here's the funny part in all this.
Just
Like,
manage.
the reason why Jamie's not in perma jail is because the magistrate does realize that there was some other fuckery going on. It's just nobody else in the campus really knows the full details of exactly what happened, and all they just think that the reason why Jamie got off is because of human bias in the CAF. Like, that's the prevailing theory on campus, is that Jamie got off light because he's a human.
Really?
is that it?
That
I
is-
gen-
that is-
that
that
I
is
don't get that.
Really?
vibe. That's
Yeah, I
not
didn't
the
get
vibe.
that.
I don't get that. I don't get that.
There's a lot of people who I've seen, who have
Interesting.
that theory.
That's
From
wild.
my end, it's more of the CAF is just being soft.
Yes, that I
about
can
this.
see. Yeah, they should have been
Considering what
more of a
happened
hard
with
ass.
Crystal Thorn
Right.
previously.
I mean, potentially as well, but there was a lot of the human stuff as well. Regardless, the point here is that
Right.
with like, if people would have thought about it, like, okay, if the magistrate really dug into this and really found out some stuff, and Jimmy didn't get punished more than the punishment that was laid on him, well, okay, what is the actual reason of that? Like, okay, wait, hold on, who was this person? And why did Jamie actually do what he did?
Right.
Instead of everybody was just like, oh, he was just being, because he was
Yeah.
being stalked. And like,
Yeah.
was he being stalked? Yeah. Is that why he shot the person in the face? No.
Imagine being stalked by a fucking vampire.
I'm gonna be honest.
Couldn't be
the,
me. Couldn't be fucking me.
the reasons that he laid out, the magistrate
Yeah.
did, for why you were being or getting what you were getting was perfectly valid, especially in the zone we were in. It was a high tension, high stakes, do or
For sure.
die kind of situation. And it doesn't matter if the fighting was over. Do you know how many times people have died after the fighting's over?
Yeah.
So
Oh
many
my God.
people. And it you were just part of that
There.
unfortunate percentage.
But it's just the problem is that
Is
a
it-
lot of the campus doesn't know all of these specifics and all the context that led
Yeah.
up to it.
But
So,
that was the
obviously
magistrate's
people that-
job, and that's why our homies are dumb, because they CAF doesn't know what they're talking about. Yet they're the ones who actually did the investigation.
Well, it's like there was barely anybody there that
I'm gonna-
episode where that the sentence got delivered to.
I'm gonna bring up that Wolf makes a good point. By the way, I have your chat open. So
That's fine.
Liang didn't get really that much of a punishment for almost killing Linux, so the administration has a track of acting like this. So it's kind of like we're gonna like see that and be like, well, fucking hell, this has happened before.
Okay, that specific instance was
just-
silly as fuck. It was a
was
joke
very
that
silly.
went
It
out
was
of
a bit.
proportion.
After hours joke.
It was an,
Absolutely.
oh my god, it was the
I
silliest
remember-
fucking
that shit
thing.
that shit was fucking hilarious.
No, that was a meme that went out of control.
No,
that then,
absolutely.
yeah, and we couldn't stop it for whatever reason. I don't know how it escalated.
Shit escalates really quickly.
Sometimes improv, you guys. Sometimes you guys go crazy.
Oh,
Huh?
totally.
We just.
Well, yeah, it's the entirety of the what the fuck is it? Yes and.
Yeah. True.
It's just
Yeah.
yes and we get so fucking far with that, and no one realizes that they should probably slow it down a little bit.
Did
Side
the
note,
magistrate get all the information? Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know what happened.
I mean, Jimmy
don't
told him
think so.
everything. Jimmy literally told him everything. In his. And then he talked to a few other people. I don't know who and really about.
Mostly
but
Gallant
Jimmy did
and
not say a
Vanguard, I think.
damn thing.
I know they're
Or
looking for
did
Misty.
not leave out a damn thing. Is what I'm trying to say. He said literally everything that happened step by step, who it was, why Jamie did what he did, and no stretching of truth there. Maybe twisting a little to make himself look a little bit better than what might be expected. But
I mean, he thought he was right after all.
sure, very in the self-righteous.
I don't know, man. This should be wild. Wolfears is bringing up at year 2 they didn't persecute the opening of the door people, but like that's different scenarios. Like, well, I don't know if you were there.
No.
Cause like those
Wait,
people.
yes I was.
Were you there? No,
I was
that's so
there.
long.
I was fucking Scott.
Man, I
Wasn't
don't remember, bro.
I miss
Oh.
Scott.
Fuck, it's been
I
so
love
long.
Scott.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, I mean, you're talking about like kids who were doing stuff because they were uninformed and they were just like poking around a school versus premeditated murder, right? Like we have different
Intent.
classifications.
Wow.
Yeah, intentions,
I
you know.
mean, you guys were very much prying, like.
Yeah!
It was
But yeah, they're hiding something in this school, but they didn't tell us.
Digging purposefully than accidental stumbling into.
Well, yes, but that's because they didn't tell us. They were at fault.
Hey, look, I'm not blaming any of y'all. I'm just saying, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're just
let's
saying a
call
little
spade
bit
a
of difference
spade.
of
What the
degrees,
intent
right?
was for.
Right. Yeah. It's a little different, right? They weren't going in there trying to release the darkness and mass murder everybody on the fucking planet. No, that wasn't their intention.
As far as we know.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, really.
How'd that work out for you guys so far, huh?
Great.
Wait, is there a general? I forget. Is there a general walking around? Is there a general walking around?
I think we saw
Yeah.
one. Was that something about
I don't even
pillars
know.
being raised?
I don't know. How did we fuck that one up? How do we release them?
Speech
I don't
was
even
really
remember.
long.
Yeah. I don't.
We fucked it
I
up
was so
somehow.
focused on the fact.
Oh yeah, no, it was
I was gonna
JoJo.
say, during that speech,
Yeah,
I was so
JoJo.
distracted by the fact that I knew that it was Comp talking, but not Comp being the person that was making the movements. So I'm just watching him try and keep up with what he's saying, and I just was muted, struggling with that. I couldn't focus on anything that was being said. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it was JoJo and the flute. That's right. I forgot.
What?
Fucking flutes, man.
Fucking flutes are the fucking devil.
Yeah, really.
No more music allowed on campus.
Music is banned.
I mean, but the tree, man, they need loving. What?
I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
really though, if you
does.
think about it, I mean, like, it's kind of weird that Chipz was like, "Hey, Jamie, person who I basically never talked to, you should sit under this tree and play your flute. You should do it alone. You know, in fact, I'm gonna get."
Well, because I didn't want to pry. I'm a musician. That's what I do. I was just saying, do what I do.
It's just so fucking funny because Jamie definitely was like,
I think it's really funny.
Hey, so just so you know,
This is funny.
Barian, this is a thing that happened. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Don't look too much into me playing my flute underneath there, wearing some spectacles. Yep, not my
boy.
fault. Uh-huh.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. Any
love
thoughts on
butterflies.
the white butterfly?
The what?
No. In fact, no real obviously we kind of understand it out of character,
Right,
in character. What exactly it means, man, who knows? And what the significance of the white butterfly was. That, to be fair, I'm not even sure of that out of character either. I don't know what that exactly was, or what the specific purpose that was, which I'm totally good with.
That's
We'll
actually
uncover that
cool.
mystery as we come along.
Oh, I should.
You know, obviously there's a billion different ways to skin that cat, but like, who the
Good
hell
thing they're
knows?
gone.
Brother, what?
I leave for 2 seconds.
Yeah, really.
Oh wait, this is the wrong one.
Why are you so small? I can't even see you over the table.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of theories that you could throw about, but I wouldn't have one that I would feel even remotely confident in saying is true.
Oh man, I think that's Is that all the questions, guys? We get them all. Charging public. No, we're not charging Chipz for contaminating public water. Jimmy.
What?
What are the
What
expectations of the
fuck?
North? Okay, yeah, we
Oh
can
my God,
end it
you
up with that.
scared the shit out of me.
All right, so what are your expectations for the North, Jamie?
I genuinely thought
What do you
that
think's
your
gonna go
voice was
down?
global.
I think there's gonna be a bunch of political shit that Jamie's not gonna have any idea what to do with. But,
Okay.
I mean, I think things are just gonna get harder and harder, and with less and less manpower, probably gonna struggle more to get things actually done the way that we need them to. I think things are generally looking more on the bleak side rather than the good side. So you know, it'll be an extra difficult round, I guess is the best way to put it.
Okay.
But maybe because we have less voices in the room, maybe things get a little bit less murky and more agreeable.
Maybe.
You know, there's a lot of big voices, in fact, that aren't
Yep.
going to be here anymore.
Yeah. New leadership
For
coming
better or
in.
worse. I don't know what it means for the Academy that the loudest and most listened to voice is probably Zachary at the moment. That's going to play
That's
out in very interesting ways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Academy has talked about some structuring, and they've said it off and on, but they haven't really mentioned anything else outside of that. So they'll probably tell you, let you guys know what's going on closer to the North.
Sure, but I mean, regardless of official structure, it's like the amount of leadership that just left. Like Liang's gone, Stark's gone. You know,
Huge.
like the people who led the charge are essentially it's down to Zach, and like I want to say Chipz has a voice, but it's not a lot of people listen to it. And
No,
Gavin
only in
has a
battle.
voice,
They only listen to it while we're fighting. That's it, because I'm loud as
and
fuck.
Gavin has a voice, but not a whole lot of people listen
are.
to that either.
And people
So,
fucking just get stun locked a lot. Chipz don't. He's an action
Yeah.
person. But yeah, no, I get you.
Is there really anybody who's going to be able to take up the next slack? I don't know. Like, I don't know if Ellie's going to be able to wrangle people to her side.
She's not first.
If people, you don't need to be first.
True.
Yeah, I'm not
But,
sure
yeah,
how
I
that.
I think a lot of
Yeah.
I think a lot of people respect Mason in a lot of ways. Is Mason going to be able to overrule Zachary on things that might not be the best way to do things? I don't know. To the point where other people would rather follow
Jamie
Mason.
lead.
Who knows?
I'm just interested in how
Oh, boy.
how Lux is gonna handle it.
I mean, as long as Lux
It's
gets to
been
punch
interesting
things, I don't know
so
if he's gonna
far.
care.
My
No,
personal.
he kind of changed a bit for it. It was really weird for
Yeah.
the last 2 sessions that he's
Yeah.
been lead. He picked up that mantle pretty well. It's just kind of a little confusing, especially considering the fact that Morgan got fucking completely left behind during last session. I was just sitting there, like, in a corner during the battle.
Part of the problem here isn't necessarily of what your voice is inside of your own squad, because your own squad has their own way of doing things.
Well, that doesn't mean that he's not going to try and influence it. Yeah.
Correct, but I don't.
Considering.
That's a question that we'll have to figure out. Who's going to be the person who can take the entire academy and if they say we're gonna go do this, we're gonna go do this.
Yep.
Because I'm like, if Stark said something or if Liang said something, people were fucking listening, right?
Yeah, I don't know how the
Right
Liang thing
now,
happened,
the
but
only
it
person
somehow
like
it did.
Right now, really the only person who
He's good
has
at
that
speeches.
commanding presence right now is probably Zachary. But
Yeah.
even that's on like a thin ice, right? Like there's
So
gonna be a lot of
fractured.
or
It's, yeah.
Well, like you said,
and does that make it easier or harder for the North? I don't know.
I think it's going to
Does
be
that mean we're
easier.
gonna be more fragmented?
I think it's going to be easier because, like you said, big voices are gone, and those were the ones that were kind of contrarian. And the ones that, the only one that's kind of left in the room was Zach. But, like, if Zach is outnumbered, he's not going to be able to pull what he pulled last time. So I have a feeling that the democracy will actually work this time, maybe, because we actually have people.
Hopefully.
But the only problem is leadership is fucked up Ascension Academy. People have been changing their personalities for it. They like get this weird mindset of what it is and what it isn't, and then they get on their high horse. It's like, bro, it's just
It's
stop.
yeah.
Like you are a leader when you need to be a leader. You can turn it off. You don't always have to be like, puff up chest and I'm a good communicator and nah, fucking do it when it counts, when it matters, bro. Like just shut the fuck up. Like we all have different styles. If you guys get out of it alive at the end of the day, that's really what matters. And do you guys agree on kind of your course of
during
actions?
the day.
I think the one thing that it's going to be very interesting for me to see is how will the professors go down because right now
Right.
their leadership and their voice is like just fucking constant.
It's just like it's an echo in the back of the
almost
room. It's,
nobody gives a
there's
fuck about
nothing.
what they say.
Yeah.
Marion might be the only person at the moment who anyone will even feign to listen to.
Right.
I think the North has the chance
Nisha,
of letting them get
Nisha's
back
got
to...
some pretty good shit, but
Nisha does, but Nisha's also very quiet. Nisha isn't to get
She
out in
is.
front.
The
she only
teachers
gets in front when it's medical.
The teachers have made the move to literally step back. They are no longer in
Exactly.
control. They have decided that you guys are more capable than they are. And if like that has been the shift, and that's why, Kay said it's like there's really not much we can teach you. Like, and I know everyone's like, grumble, grumble, you should have taught us how to live our life and told us everything that we need to know. Bro, they don't even know what they're doing. They have no idea. They have no idea how to fight the darkness. You guys have fought them more times than they have. The teachers do not know more than you guys. They don't. And the main reason why you guys are here
I
is
swear
not
to
to
point
become
out,
officers. Yes, sure, that's what the official reasoning is. The real reason was to fight the fucking darkness. That was the reason why the academy was founded. The official admin reason of being officers, sure, that's on paper, but like we all know the real reason. We all know it. It was disclosed to fight that darkness.
All I'm saying
Grind
is
the
that
darkness under our boots.
Sorry, Wolf. I just read your message. That's really fucking funny. Time to put in
I
an
still
industry
think-
plant. Hoshi for school president. It's an industry plant because she's got good ties to CAF.
I am the headmistress now.
I'll vote for it.
still
I'll
think-
vote for that.
that the North gives the professors a chance to still be a valuable part of the academy, right? Like I still think them being there and
reevaluating. It's not really giving orders, but giving more of actual guidance and just being there to listen and talk and understand, rather than being the decision makers and like the rule makers. If we pivot away from that a little, I think that can get the professors a little bit re-ingratiated into the grand scheme of things, and some of the trust brought back with.
Well, I can tell you some things from the outside. Being a teacher can be stressful because the players go to the teacher and then ask for guidance. And if the teacher says one wrong thing, that student goes and blames the teacher. And then that player that plays the teacher gets super anxious and maybe doesn't want to even show up because they don't even know if they're hated or not. And so being a teacher sucks. Like, it literally sucks. It is the worst fucking player position ever. And like, the goal is to literally hopefully segue you guys into being those officers, being in control, being the leads, and have them just, like you said, be a guiding light. But unfortunately, the players put so much emphasis on their guidance that they take it as law. Like, no, they're giving you what maybe you could do. That doesn't mean you should do. You need to make that decision or that distinction yourself using your brain and other clues and, indicators.
We're in uncharted waters.
We're in uncharted. You need to make that. They're just giving you some pieces that they know from their experience. So like the thing is like, it sucks because I don't want it to scare away our teachers, because if we have that onus of prove yourself to us that you're worth the while, they're gonna be fucking stressed out of their mind, because I already know in Fallbrook they were. Like, Fallbrook, there was so much pressure put on the teachers.
Oh my god.
They were like being blamed for everything, and they just didn't want to give you guys any advice because like it was just bad. And so what do you do with that? Like, and we're trying to get. It's supposed to be fun, not anxiety driven, and they don't want to be responsible for your characters' deaths either, right? So like, that's why we're trying to get you guys to be your own kind of, you're choosing. They're just there to, like you said, support would be the best way. How can they show support so it's not? But I think that's also part of a player responsibility too. Don't blame your teachers. They're just doing the best they can. Now, yes, for RP, do it for some RP once in a while, but
some sort of
Listen,
shift that
I
needs
can
to
still
happen
blame
there,
Blaze
but I think
for
they're
not
saying-
helping with. I can still blame Blaze
Right.
for not helping with staff stuff, because bro literally said, "Yeah, I'll help you," and then 2 hours later got arrested. So.
oh yeah. Well, I'm not saying don't blame them for stuff. You should blame things when it makes sense, but
So fucking funny.
That's hilarious.
I mean, I just
Like an hour
I just want you
later,
to know-
Blazeheart comes in and is like, "Well, here's a book on how to make a focus work," and it's like, I have 3 hours. Help.
the line
Go
that
on.
Barian gave Jamie, as Jamie was already having like, I need to find that vampire thoughts. Barian comes up and he's just like, Jamie, I don't know
God,
how to
that's
help you,
right.
but really, you should talk to someone and get these feelings out.
That shit was so fucking funny.
No! What did you
I
just
remember
do?
you. That
It was
shit was
great.
so fucking
It was the
funny.
most search your feelings.
You
know
got,
it to be
you got
true.
set up perfectly for that
Dude,
moment.
I
was so
it was
funny.
Complete insanity. But
Like,
yeah,
every
my
little
point
thing
is like
That was
pushed that,
before
like,
the.
that was the
was
last
right
thing
before
anybody
it.
said to Jamie
that
before
was
he
a,
went off
yeah,
with the
that was
vampire.
that was the last, yeah. It was right there.
Yes. It was great. It was
Big
perfect.
Barian
It was
unintentionally
fucking
played a
amazing.
major role in Jamie's.
Yeah,
that-
really.
and this is what I'm saying. Like, you don't understand
Didn't
the
it?
amount of little things that have to happen
Yeah.
in the perfect fucking
okay.
order. But yeah, no.
distracted
So
now.
my point is, I think the North, other than the students figuring out who's going to actually be leading, who's going to be the voice that they can listen to, I think it has the possibility of also altering the role of the professors and what they do and how people view them. And I think that'll be interesting to see if any of that happens.
yes, absolutely.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see which student characters rise up into that kind of leadership position, because not all of them are going to change for it. There are just some that are like naturally good at it, but they were overshadowed. So I'm kind of excited to see how that turns out.
I have a feeling it's gonna be a shit show.
Quick as well.
It's gonna be a
it's
shit
absolutely
show
gonna be
for
a shit
sure.
The reason why
But
it's a
gonna
shit
be
show
funny.
is because
gonna
we
be
don't
so
have
stressful.
time for new leaders, and we are going into a fucked up place, and we don't have. Yeah, there is no
For
learning.
sure.
There is no learning on the job anymore,
no.
unfortunately. But the thing is like all students, I
It's
think, are
gonna
pretty
be a
much
setup
capable.
on job though.
Guys, we are pretty much all capable of doing the thing. Like, for example, if you guys were to go to other RPs and just decided, I'm gonna be a leader like I learned in AA, you know how to do it. You do know how to do it. Like you know what the call outs we make. You know to form your squad. You know you know the patterns. Everyone actually knows it by default. They do. You guys have now been trained for the last 6 years to be a leader for us, and everyone.
Okay, well, you have the 6 years.
Right.
We have close to 3, but also shut up because remember the clip of me hearing the fucking barrier sound and like breaking
Right,
the chair,
you're
almost
conditioned.
getting up out of fear.
Yes.
Fucking conditioned. Luckily, it didn't happen the most recent time, but I was fucking exhausted and I was just kind of. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
This is happening now.
This
So-
fucking roleplay has changed who I am as a person, and I don't know if I like that very much.
Well, I mean, there's good. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
There's
Like,
good things for sure.
yeah, you learn. I mean, like I said,
No,
you'll
for
be able to
sure.
lead, and you learn to get yourself heard. I mean, I think most people who were quiet could learn to get a little bit of a voice by like, okay, through their character usually, right? Like especially if they were like
Yes.
doing this, like, and so yeah, they can use their
Well, it's
character
also
to
the
learn those skills.
escapism part of that,
Yeah.
where you can practice actually
Right.
doing that instead
Exactly.
of risking real life consequences for it.
Exactly,
Because at the end of the
exactly.
day, you could just be like, out of RP, you can be like, hey, checking in, we're cool, I love you, nothing bad.
Love you.
I think that's
That's what I
probably where the
usually do.
problem of character alts come in, because I think people sometimes create, what is it, character suicide by actually doing something they think was a bad thing, and then they're like, okay, I'm done with the character, I'm done, I'm gonna shelve it, I'm gonna make a new one.
I mean,
Luckily, we haven't had that
what do you
issue
mean,
with
well,
our.
what's bad about it?
I'm
Oh,
out
you
of
mean,
curiosity.
Like, people, like,
Oh, I didn't say anything was bad about it. I was just saying that's where it comes
It's just
from.
something that they.
Like for
Oh,
but
I
but
see.
you can't do that with our RP. Like we don't really allow that, because like you can't really
No.
just like, you know what, I've made a mistake and I made my character look bad. Okay, I'm done with this character. Well, I don't really.
I
Okay,
mean,
well if that's your reason, then I
That
can't
was Diamond
really.
for me.
Yeah.
Like I drove Diamond into a corner and I didn't know what to do with him anymore.
Fucking hell. Yeah, you did.
Okay, well I mean,
You
real quickly, what
that's
happened there?
that's something you. That's. do you want to go
Is that
into
another?
it?
Well, just a TLDR. I mean, we're at the end
So
here, but
TL
yeah.
It was
Let
my
me
first
TLDR
RP
here.
character. Yeah, but yeah.
This
go ahead.
is Imagine and I used to roleplay
Same
together in a
Pathfinders.
roleplay called Pathfinders. It was our first roleplay. Both of us,
Mm-hmm.
our characters fucking hated each other. So us coming into RP was like us fighting each other for a while before being like, oh, we can actually be friends in character and not want to kill each other. Diamond was just a fucking asshole and was irredeemable after a while. Like he was just so mean.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
You just walked around here like,
Okay.
we're
All right,
gonna
lady.
die.
First of all,
I say it with
The
love.
narrative
I say
here.
it with
Whoa.
love. I say it with love. You know.
no. I look.
You know.
It eventually it was just one of those characters
Bro went up to
that.
me and said, "What do you even do?"
What was he wrong? No.
You're not wrong.
No, it's just one of those characters that, like, you know, through many little things, built up a certain amount of resentment towards how things were being run by people, and them listening to people that he didn't think should be listened to, and that led him to kind of just alienate a lot of his friends,
Yeah,
All right.
and not just friends, but like coworkers, I guess, and could say.
pretty much. Yeah.
And then like the final episode that we had on there ended up very, very badly. Just
Yeah.
out of complete happenstance and probably complete coincidence, but like it was just like it felt like he got shunned by people, while people who did very bad things did not get shunned, and so he was just
Right.
like, fuck all of you. I'm
I don't
out.
remember enough
Peace.
about that RP,
I
man.
never want to talk to you ever again. Not to be
This
fair,
was like- This is so
he still had a
long
few
ago.
friends left over from there, but like
Mhm.
I just couldn't really take him to another RP. It was metaverse related, but I just couldn't really take him to any other
Yeah.
RP because he didn't have any
Okay.
real connections left at that
No.
point.
He
And it was
burnt
just like,
too many bridges on that one. For
I
example,
could've.
like I
really
like
could've
you, like
forced,
you and
but
I would
just didn't
run
want
into
to.
each other as those characters, and it would just be a
It
whole
was-
stare down and fuck
very
you, and that was
awkward.
about it. It's what's really funny. Okay, another thing that I'm gonna circle back, if for a lack of a better phrase too. What was it? Isadel Goose Attack. Part of it would be really funny is because Imagine fucking hates birds, and I think it'd be really funny to have a fucking goose attack. Because you said Canada Goose. Can we? I just want to see you.
That's what you wanted to circle back to? A goose attack?
You were asking what that meant, and I
There's a
said
reason-
it. So I'll explain. I
reason-
think it's
Alright, I get it, I hear
Massacre of
you.
Ascension happens.
Also, we're at the end. Come on,
My God.
Fair.
let me have fun.
Okay,
Fun.
my final question about the North.
3 hours.
When am I getting my fucking coin back? That's my final question for the North.
When are you getting your... Wait, you lost your coin.
It was taken away from him.
Yeah, Barry and Coffin.
Oh, yeah!
Because this is only-
Yeah! Alright, well, good point. Nah, I'm gonna have to figure that out.
Probably before we go to the north.
Yeah, I mean, we would... I don't know. Ooh, I'll figure something out. I'll figure something cool out.
Am I gonna continue having cups
Yeah.
in the North?
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. Oh fuck, man.
Yeah, well, that would be stupid, wouldn't it? Well, we'll figure this out. Figure it out. You've been good behavior,
that's
so
a-
you know. I mean, I don't know what people want from
look,
you.
I even have the
also,
guards
liability
blessing.
of
They've
we
been on
don't
my
want you
side.
to die out there.
I mean, true.
Minimal
Because it would look
diabolical
really
acting.
bad on them
Okay.
if they
okay.
had a
okay.
student.
You say that,
What?
but hear me out. Are you sure about that?
No, but it would be a fucking liability, and it would be like it would look back on the CF because
Exactly,
they have a student there that's like in prison, and they just get
Yep,
some killed. It's like I
Yep.
know, well, you were aiming for that kind of scenario.
Oh boy.
Well,
It's gonna get
Another thing that I hate about this roleplay is that the fact that it's changed me to be more of a I could fucking argue now.
yeah, that's not good.
That's good stuff.
I've been with the diplomatic squad so long, but then again, I think it's actually been a really good thing.
Oh no,
But it's really funny
that's fun.
where I think about politics now.
You say that now,
not
but
fun.
darkness will
It's
claim
not
all of our
fun.
souls, and then will it be a good influence? I don't know about that.
I'd be down.
All right. Well,
Look,
cheers
it's
to the
like
darkness
myself,
taking
man.
our souls.
Cheers.
Let's go. Well, Jimmy, thanks for coming today.
Darkness, daddy.
I appreciate it. This was fun.
Jesus.
I think that's
Thanks for
about
having me.
a wrap. Yeah. All right, guys. All right, we all head up this way. Here's the camera. We say goodbye. All right.
Bye.
Chi-chi.
I'm here too.
Leg.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming
That I'm
to today's potty casty. It was fun.
Don't say that.
potty Cassidy.
Okay, podcast. Sorry. What's wrong with that? Okay.
The pod.
The pod. We need to figure out it. Yeah.
Pod.
We'll figure something out. Bye, everybody. And see you on the next one. I have no idea who we're gonna get. I'll talk to Cora back there, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Bye. Peace.
Bye.